చాలా బాగా వచ్చింది.
We decided that SIRC last year.
Yes, sir.
I am keeping it for one more year.
Yeah. Until 75 years.
So, sir, it's 5 p.m. with the permission of the speaker and today's chief guest,
No, sir,
Panara, sir. Shall we
2
commence
more
the
minutes are
program?
there, sir.
2
more minutes are there. Just
5 is
let the people.
4:58.
Only 4:58. Let the people come, sir.
2 more minutes are there. 1 or 2 minutes extra I can give for this technical logging in.
Yeah. That's the thing. The thing is, Vijayawada people has become more clever that they are skipping the chairman remarks and also initial remarks, and they are joining correctly for the technical session. So they are just tuning in for 5:10 only. Intentionally. Yesterday it is 265, sir.
Excellent.
Today, of course, today is the last day for tax returns and advance
Tax returns.
That will be the
Actually,
but we can expect it, sir. By virtually, all the members are doing on the screen and switch off the camera and listening simultaneously.
No, the thing is, today is the last date for tax audit returns.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And actually, only after accepting the thing, then I came to know that today is the last date for tax returns. So there is no other go. I have to make adjustment.
My immediate past chairman, Purna Garu. Welcome, sir.
My chairman.
Your chairman.
The chairman, I am the secretary of the branch, sir. My chairman. Welcome, sir.
Good evening, Ravindran sir. Good evening, madam.
Welcome.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Yeah.
Panaraj garu, good
Hi,
evening.
sir.
Good evening, Purna garu.
We can start. I think.
Yeah, 5 o'clock, sir. Ravi Kishore, sir. It's your time.
yeah, thank you, GSR Garu. Yeah, good evening, my dear friends. You are all welcome to this second day of the series of programs on bank audit. Today we have as a technical session speaker CA Ravindran sir, who is from Salem, and also we are joined by Vice Chairman SIRC CA Panaraj sir. Before our chairman gives her opening remarks, let's go for our motto song. We need not stand, but as a mark of respect, we can place our hand on our heart. Yeah, please play it. Actually, Ramesh, you please stop that. I will play it myself. Yesterday also we got an issue with that. You please stop it. I will play for myself.
Otherwise, I can play it, sir.
No. I am ready with it.
Voice, sir.
Yeah, I'm giving it.
सुप्तेषु जाग्रति कामं पुरुषो निर्मिमाणः तदेव शुक्रं तद्ब्रह्मा तदेवामृतमुच्यते तस्मिन् लोकः शतः सर्वे तदूनात्यति कश्चन एतद्वैत.
Thank you. Now, I request our chairperson, CA Geddam Shrita Shirin Madam, to give her opening remarks. Please unmute and speak, Madam.
Madam, unmute.
Respected Chief Guest of the Day, Vice Chairman of SARC of ICA, CS Pannaras sir, and today's resource person, CA V. Ravindran sir, and my colleagues in the Management Committee, and immediate past Chairman Purnachandra Rao sir, and Godavarti Srinivas Rao sir, and my fellow members, a very good evening to one. I welcome you all to the second day of virtual series on bank branch audit. Yesterday, we were glad to have addressed by our Chairman of SARC of ICA, CAT Chinmasan sir, and we had wonderful presentations from our past president, CA Amarjit Chopra sir, and CA Abhijit Sanjigiri sir. Today, we are having very important topic, NPA, MOC, and practical approach. As you all know, NPA is non-performing asset, which is remain out of order as per RBI norms. And MOC, Memorandum of Changes. It is an important document enclosed with bank audit report whenever an auditor is not satisfied and observes significant changes affecting the financial statements of the bank, and which may also result provisioning also. So auditors should be more conscious while reporting the MOC. So I hope today's session will definitely update your knowledge on these aspects. Thank you. Please have a great participation. Thank you, Ananda.
Thank you, Madam, for those opening remarks. Now, may I request CA Jayan Tupuluru, SICASA Chairman for the current year, to say a few words about our today's chief guest, Vice Chairman of SARC, CA Pannaras sir.
Hello all, this is Jayan Tupuluru, current SICASA Chairman. So it's a privilege to introduce S. Pannaras sir today. So by qualification, he is a graduate from BSc from Karnataka University, and he is postgraduate diploma in business management from Gulbarga University. Fellow member of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, attained his fellowship on 15th June 1992, practicing at Bellary from 1987, since 34 years. He's a practicing chartered accountant and social activist too since 1987. Now, he is proprietor of S. Pannaras and Associates. His experience is he's presented number of papers and seminars on n number of platforms. He is represented on Board of Managing Committee of Bellary District Chamber of Commerce and Industries, Taxation Committee of Karnataka of Chamber of Commerce, nominated for IT Committee and SMT Committee of Southern India Regional Council of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. And he played a key role in formation of chapter, upgrading the chapter to branch, developing infrastructure for Bellary branch. Served as Secretary, Vice Chairman, and Chairman of Bellary branch of SARC of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Served as Director of JESCOM, Public Sector Company of Government of Karnataka. Served as Regional Council Member of SARC of ICIA for the term 2016 and 19, Treasurer 17-18, Chairman of SICASA 2018-19. Served as Regional Council Member of SARC of ICIA for the second term from 2019 to 22. Served as Secretary SARC of ICIA for the term 2021 to 22. Elected for the third term and servicing as Vice Chairman SARC of ICIA for term 2022 and 23. So by this, I will give it to Netta Ravikishore Garu. Sir, please unmute, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Jayant. Before our chief guest commences his address to the gathering, I regret to state that yesterday one of our senior member, CA MSR Prasad Garu, has demised. We regret, and I request the participants to give a 2-minute mourning for the sad demise of our senior member. 2 minutes, please. Thank you. GSR Garu, if please unmute yourself. A few words about association of yours with Panaraj sir. A few words from you about Panaraj sir.
So, good evening once again. Friends, as you know that Panara sir is not only in the member service, but also is the public at large. He has contested in the general elections also. Is a excellent gentleman and also having a wide range of experience and all these things. With this, now he is the second lieutenant to the institute, and next year he is going to take up the footsteps of the Chinnamastan sir. And now that he is acting as the vice chairman of the branch, he has a vast experience in almost all areas. More than that, he's just a human being, because when an occasion with me is when a Rajahmundry branch chairman suddenly got affected from the corona and he has demised. He has just openly asked for rang up in the early morning and inquired about the financial position of the member and how he has these things and how he has to do the things from the SARC and all these things. Really a great human being along with us. Definitely his experience and everything will give a lot of laurels to the not only to the profession, but also it is a guiding force for all of us. Thank you, sir, and over to Panaras, sir.
Thank you once again. Good evening to all of you. The one and only speaker, Mr. Ravindran sir, a very warm good evening to you. You are the most sought after speaker across South as far as bank audits is concerned. He has visited, he has not left any branch or any chapter for that matter. And he is in such a demand. And definitely with your basic, what's called practical approach to the audit, you are remembered very much. So also on Mr. Premnath from Hyderabad, he is also like that. He takes most of the succinct aspects of the part of the speech and experiences, practical experiences. I always admire both of them for their what's called making it more of practical and problem-oriented approach. Before I take up my time to speak, or a very good evening, special good evening to Madam Gaddam Srita Sreen Madam for being the chairman of this branch. I'm very happy and I congratulate all the other MC members and the members of the Vijayawada branch for getting you or elevating you to the position of chairmanship. And Purna Chandra Garu and GSR Garu, a special good evening. And also Narendra Babu Garu, vice chairman, my counterpart at the branch, and Ravi Kishore Garu and Jayant Uppala Garu and all the attendees here. First of all, my very heartfelt condolences on this very sad day of losing a senior chartered accountant. And I wish we are all with the family members to share the grief, and if at all any help is required from our side also, we're always there. Thank you. Special thanks to GSR Garu for mentioning extra things about me. And I wish to tell you one or two things about that. Recently, in last 2-3 days, we met 2 ministers and 5 IAS officers in government of Karnataka to push forward or to stabilize the municipal audits, which is already there in Karnataka. Municipal audits are being done by chartered accountants here in Karnataka. There are so many issues, and we have to resolve that only to take see that they are taken forward to the other states also. So also urban development authorities, double entry system of accounting, adoption of double entry system of accounting. We met the chief secretary of the urban development department, and also we met director of municipal administration and cooperative minister also to settle the issues. Cooperative sector, cooperative societies are audited in Karnataka, which we wish to take it forward to other states also, at least in South, to see that there is a what's called bigger opportunity for chartered accountants to play in the role of national building. And also I met the Minister for Small and Small Scale Industries, Mr. Murugesh Nirani, to enter into an MOU between ACI and the state government to popularize the schemes of the government on MSME sector. As you all know, it is the small and medium practitioners who are put to very much hardship during this pandemic, and the MSME sector has suffered a lot. That sector contributes 40% of the GDP and 60% to the employment. And in my opinion, at least 75 to 80% to the small and medium practitioners, we the chartered accountants in smaller places. So our focus in these 3 years, coming 3 years, would be widening the professional opportunities in the area of MSME sector and also other new sectors. So with this background, we have been taking up so many programs at SIRC level also to widen or to upskill the members to catch up to the new areas of practice, as well as to consolidate themselves in the areas of practice that they are all doing. They are all practicing. In addition to that, we are trying to upskill the members technologically also. So technological upgradation is another very important factor that we have been having in our agenda under the leadership of our chairman and your own person, Mr. Chinnamastan Talakaila. And one happy thing about the public achievement is I have been fighting for the inclusion of our district in 371J constitutional amendment, which I was successful, and I have been trying for implementation of that as an activist. It was on the lines of 371D, which was there for Telangana earlier, Andhra Pradesh, and you missed it after becoming 2 states, but we got it on your lines. And recently, just last week on 4th of March, we got another feather in our cap. I have been fighting for 12 years now for agriculture college, BSc Agriculture College in near Bellary, hometown. The chief minister announced the agriculture college also. These two are my achievements in the public life, in addition to being part of the chapter and the branch of Bellary from the beginning of from the days when I was just 13th chartered accountant in Bellary. Now we are 210. I was the 13th. So that's the achievement of our small town. And I am very proud to be part of the regional council for the first time as a third timer from official place of Karnataka. With this background, I would be very happy to be part of today's program, and I congratulate the team of Shireen Madam. You have been following up so much for this program. I would have been happy even if you have just sent one message. That would have been enough. But the concern that we have, the hospitality that you would show, the humbleness with which you yourself and your past chairman have been in touch with me, it is very heartening to all of us to work. We believe in the concept of working together. Together we can, and together we will. So no one person, by becoming chairman or vice chairman or president or vice president alone, can achieve the excellence in our profession. And I am very happy to see Vijayawada branch conducting the series of on bank branch audits from 14th to 17th. We have had a great session from the one and only Mr. Amarjit Chopraji yesterday. His experience is really unbelievable, and he is an encyclopedia on this field, and his opening must have given a great impetus to this program. Your quote of plan, allocate, scrutinize, concise, and report is excellent analysis and guidance to those who take up the bank audits. And coming to today's topics, NPA classification, MOC, and practical approach. These are the 3 core areas of the whole bank audit itself. In my opinion, I think 50% of the work is covered in this topic. And today's speaker, Mr. Ravindran, has been very kind enough to devote his time for this upskilling or creating awareness among the members, especially with the practical exposure that he has and the experiences he has come across. So with this, I wish you all a very happy learning, and together we will work and we'll see that we grow to the global standards. Our services from small and medium practice areas should reach across the globe, and see that in the days to come, the younger CAs are there to serve the clientele across the globe. This, I wish you all the best, and this is the season of bank audits. For one more month, we will be doing only bank audits, and at SIRC, we assure you we wish to have a question answer session during the course of audit. I think chairman must have expressed about it. During the course of audit, that is from first week of April itself, we will be having at least 2-3 sessions, a series of programs exclusively to clarify the doubts of those who are in the process of audits. So we will all come together and do the best possible audit with high quality and high technology. So wish you all the best and happy learning for all of you. Once again, I thank you, Team Vijayawada, Shirin Madam and Ravi Kishore and all others for giving me this opportunity to meet you all virtually. Thank you.
GSR Garu, a word of thank to Panaraj sir from you. Please unmute and speak.
Really, it is heartening to listen to Panaraj sir as and when he spoke about things. Regarding that, Ravindran sir, what he said is correct. His wings are already crossed, not only SIRC, now that he is going to EIRC and also the NIRC also. So Ravindran sir, hats up to you, and really excellent way of handling the things, because day in, day out, touring all these things, it's not an easy task for each and every person. Sharing the knowledge is also one of the brilliant quality. And regarding the Panaraj sir, actually, if you able to share the things that what you have said, that for the municipal audits and all these things, Purna is our immediate past president, past chairman, is also having some political pull here, so that he can meet some ministers and get the things happen to the Andhra Pradesh also. So kindly
Definitely.
help in
Definitely, sir. We will work together. That plan we have at the SIRC level itself.
Okay,
that's the reason I have requested even the chairman to see that each state will have to appoint 1 or 2 RCMs to coordinate with the people who have political connections, and we can get the things done.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
sir.
Right. Thank you, Panaraj sir. I think the association with Vijayawada branch will continue with you. Thank you, sir. CA Ravindran sir is a YouTuber, and his YouTube name is Ravindran B. He is a qualified chartered accountant and is in practice from January 1987. He is a BCom graduate from Madras University, Master of Commerce from Madurai Kamaraj University, and of course, he is a chartered accountant qualified in 1987 as said. He has completed his DISA course and also insolvency professional course, valuation course, and also he is qualified as an independent director from Ministry of Corporate Affairs through Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs. He is in the panel of the 29 banks. Of course, some of them have merged, but almost all the banks audits he has covered. And also he carried out statutory branch audit, concurrent audit, revenue audit, credit audit, stock audit, inspection audit, fraud detection, document vetting audit. So he was associated with banks in almost all spheres and in almost all categories of audit. And he is also a faculty for the certificate course on concurrent audit by ICA. And also he is a faculty member for SIRC in bank audit. and also faculty member in Ethical Standards Board of ICAI. And he is also associated with ICSI and ICMA in valuation courses, and also as a faculty for valuers with valuation of Institute of Valuers. And also he is a faculty member of AIIOVF and a faculty member in the programs organized by District Industries Center, and also state trainer in Indian Junior Chambers. He has presented papers on bank audit on various topics such as bank frauds, practical approach to bank audit. Of course, he will be dealing with that topic in our today's session also. Loans and advances, Forex, LFAR, tax audit, among others. And also he played a key role with ICAI. He was chairman of Salem branch for the year 2017, and also a co-opted member of Banking and Insurance Committee of SIRC in 2019, and a co-opted member of Branch Coordination Committee 2021. Also, he practices in income tax, company taxation, bank audit, government society audits, etc. With this brief, I present before you Ravindran sir. It's all yours.
Thank you, sir. And it's a proud moment for me to address our Vijayawada branch. And even I asked the opportunity to Madam, because as I have been invited to Guttur, I asked her, because he said today only we are going to be installed, then we will consider the MC. But anyhow, I have got the opportunity through virtual. Actually, I want to come in person. Okay, we will meet either in the month of April or May on any other topic of not only related to any bank audit, any topic. I'm very much interested to come. And yeah, because almost 26 minutes of the program is gone. So I'm only left with 2 hours or 2.5 hours to complete the session. I'm straight away, I'm going to the session, and the topic which I'm going to take is performing asset. And normally, if any auditor has failed to do or failed to identify NPA, he is called as non-performing auditor. But normally it is called as non-performing asset. And even this is a very, very interesting thing, because the RBI has recently changed the master circular, and they have issued a new circular on 1/10/2021. And today I have decided to cover the portion of NPA under non-agricultural advances with reference to term loan and cash credit loan, and agricultural advances with reference to direct and indirect advances, NPA techniques, in what all the manners you can easily identify the NPAs, and what is how to handle the NPA pressure given by the bank's head office, and as well as NPA games. Here, what is NPA game? NPA game is the technique adopted by the bankers to get the signature from the auditor without showing the true figure. So this is a 5 area. Wherever possible, I go in depth, but the maximum extent I will cover. And this is the circular that you have to see. This is a 1/10/2021 circular. This circular I have already sent the link to the I think to the organizers, and I think they can refer those circulars to your mail ID. Please go through the 1/10/2021 circular. This is a master circular issued by the Reserve Bank of India, and this is applicable for this year. They have changed the earlier circular which they have issued on 1/7/2015. After that, they have issued 2 clarification circular, one in the month of November and another one is in the month of February 2022. This is a thing that you have to see. And next one is in this, you have to go through this. What is NPA? NPA asset as per the circular is, this is a word that I have taken. An asset including this asset becomes NPA, non-performing when it ceases to generate income to the bank. So that means any asset which ceases to income to the bank, and for that there is some specification of 90 days. Based on that, you are classifying that asset as NPA. Here, asset includes this asset. and it ceases to generate income and it becomes NPA, and no further interest has to be charged if that advance has become NPA. Just it's all theoretical, and just I'm skipping it. And these are three circulars you have to take note of. One is master circular issued on 110/2020, that is 110/12/11/2021, and 15/2/2022 also they issued another clarification circular. All the circular details I have covered in the during the presentation. Three important things that you have to see. One is more than 90 days. This word you have to, this thing you have to remember. And second one is out of order. And third one is overdue. More than 90 days, out of order, and overdue. Actually, more than 90 days. Here, in previous circular, there was a confusion whether we have to calculate the 90 days from the due date or from the end of the due date. From the due date or from the end of the due date, it was clarified through this circular that you have to calculate the more than 90 days from the end of the due date. So this you can, I can explain how we have to come to the conclusion. So more than 90 days, you have to calculate from the end of the due date. Second one is out of order. Out of order term is applicable for all cash credit loans. Then overdue term is applicable for the term loan. So these are three important things that you have to notice during the new circular issued on 110/2021. Here, more than 90 days from the end of the due date, that is for term loan, the interest and principal, it is called as overdue. For cash credit, you have to adopt 8 methods. Even for the term loan, there are 5 methods of repayment. Based on the repayment only, you have to do the NPA working. So here, I am going to explain how to calculate the NPA for the 5 term loan repayment. That is, this is with reference to non-agricultural advances. There are 2 ways we have to do the consideration. One is for non-agricultural advances. Second one is agricultural advances. Don't worry, you need not bother about the agricultural advances now. I'll explain on a later part. And term loan, it is 5 methods, and for CC, cash credit loan, you have to adopt 8 methods. Based on that, only one cash credit account will become NPA. And with reference to agriculture, you have to calculate the NPA based on the crop season. Based on the crop season, and short-term crop means due date plus 2 crop season, and long-term means 1 due date plus 1 crop season. All this we will discuss in detail. This is just for information purpose. I have put that slide here. And here, this is a new thing that they have introduced in the new circular. This is a very important thing. They say that holiday period interest is there. Construction, that is EMI, has already started. So far, they have given clear instruction to that. But here, holiday period is there, but the installment has not started. Then how to arrive at the NPA? This is the added thing that they added in the latest circular 110/2021. And wherever possible, I'll give the latest thing. Here, this is a new amendment, new thing they have introduced. That is, if loan is being sanctioned and only the holiday period is there, and the holiday period has not come to any conclusion, or it is not over, then you have to calculate the holiday period interest from the end of the quarter, 90 days. So in case of interest payment, there is only interest payment due. It is charged. And during the quarter, what is the interest? Total interest has to be paid by the party within 90 days from the end of the quarter. So here, interest due and charge, only interest and not principal. If that is the case, then interest has to be serviced from the end of the quarter within 90 days. If it is not serviced, then that account has to be treated as NPA. And this is another important thing that you have to concentrate during the year. Last year, it is they just given the circular, but it never derives important. But this year, you have been asked to give a special certificate for this SMA. SMA means special mention account. This year, you have to give the special mention account. And before going to that, I want to say one thing. If you got any doubt, please put it in the chat box. I will clarify. Don't worry. because I'll clarify your doubt and then go to the next question. If you got any doubt, you can put it in the chat box. And here you have to give a new certificate called Special Mention Account Certificate. Now, first you should know what is SMA. It is called as SMA. This SMA is applicable for an account which has to become NPA. That is, before NPA, you have to do this type of working. So this is the added work that a chartered accountant has to do during this year of audit. Before NPA, you have to do it. And if any account falls in the SMA category, then the manager has to start to have very close follow-up, because this account is going to be just soon, that is after 90 days. So how these days have been mentioned, how these days have been calculated by the bankers based on the RBI, I'll explain. And it will become NPA after SMA2. Here you have to remember the three things. One is SMA 0, SMA 1, and SMA 2. It is not SMA 1, 2, 3. It is SMA 0, 1, 2. 0 starts from, that is, a loan is due and the party has not made the payment. It is 1 to 30 days is called as SMA 0. And it is applicable only for the term loan and not for the cash credit loan. So SMA 0 is applicable only for term loan and not for CC. Yes, sorry, SMA 0. SMA 1, you have to calculate from 31 to 60 days. 31 to 60 days. That is SMA 1. So that is applicable for both term loan and cash credit loan. And third one is SMA 2. That is, the loan is overdue from the due date for a period between 61 to 90 days. Then that account has to be treated as SMA 2. For that also it is applicable. And even if the account falls in between SMA 0, 1, 2, the borrower has not paid the amount, then on the 91st day, that account will become NPA. This is the thing you have to remember. This is a new certificate that you have to give during this year's audit. So SMA 0, 1, 2. So you have to remember there is no 1, 2, 3. It is SMA 0, 1, 2, 3. And SMA 0 is applicable only for the term loan and not for CC. Here, this also I have already said, from the earlier circular, is it from the end of the due date or from the due date? It is already decided because of this SMA. From the end of the due date, you have to calculate. So just I am explaining the 90 days concept, 90 days concept from the end of the due date. So this is this method you have to understand. First thing you should know, because a lot of youngsters are here, they should know how to calculate the 90 days. So from the end of the due date, you have to calculate. Let us take, for example, 5/4/19. That is, remaining days in the month of April is 25, May 31, June 30, in July 4th. That is, the 90 days ends on 4th July 2019. I think they said that my voice is not clear. Is it so?
Sir, sometimes I think there is an issue with your internet connection, sir. There is a bit of issue with your internet connection.
18 particles. Just wait, I'll change the network. I think I'm clear now.
Yeah, it's better, sir.
Even because I got two network, one is mobile hotspot and second one is Airtel fiber connection. And now I am with the Airtel fiber, and even if there is any disturbance, you can tell me, no problem. And here, one thing one has to calculate how to find the 90 days. That is, the loan amount due on 5/4/19 has to be paid on or before 4/7/2019. Otherwise, that account will become NPA on 5/7/2019. Is it clear, sir? That is, you have to calculate 90 days from the due date. First, do 90 days, then 4/7, it ends on 4/7/19. That means the due amount of 5/4/19 has to be paid on or before 4/7 2019. If the borrower has not paid the amount on or before 4/7/2019, then that account will be termed as NPA on 5/7/19. Here I want to say a very important thing. The NPA date can be any date. NPA date can be any date. It will not be on the month end, quarter end, half yearly end, or year end. It can be on any date that account will become NPA. So 5/4/19 is the first exercise. Second exercise, once again I'll repeat, 8/5/19 is the due date, and if you add 90 days, it falls on 6/8/2019. If the loan amount has not been paid on or before 6/8/2019, then that account will become NPA on 7/8/2019. So in this manner, you have to calculate the 90 days. Now I'm moving to the next thing. That is, this is very simple. How a debtor is being classified. Normally, the NPA is based on the debtors. Normally, when we do the accounting, we know that there are total debtors, less bad debts, less reserve for doubtful debts. Remaining is the good debts. So good debts is here. It is ulta. It is ulta. Good debt is called as standard. Normally, total debts, less bad debts, less reserve for doubtful debts, and good debts. Here, this good debt is called as standard. It remains as standard till it has become NPA. So the standard status continues permanently. But the doubtful debtors, they have classified into 4 parts. They have doubtful debtors, they have classified into 4 parts. One is substandard, D1, D2, D3. So normally this substandard is there for a period of 12 months. Actually, I have typed it 1 year. It is a substandard category. It will be there till a period of 12 months from once you identify the NPA. So from the due date of from the date of NPA, it remains as substandard for a period of 1 year, for a period of 12 months. The remaining is D1, D2, D3. Again, it is 1 year, 1 year. Then after D3, it remains permanent. And if the loan is not able to be recovered by the branch, then you have to classify that asset as loss asset. And now, this is a very important thing that you have to take note of it. NPA cutoff date. What is NPA cutoff date? If you identify this date, then any loans due or sanctioned on or after this date, you need not bother. All the loans will become standard only. All the loans will become standard only. Here, for the first exercise is 31/12/2021. You add 90 days where it ends. So 31st July, 28th February, 31st March, it falls on 31/3/2022. That means a loan due on 31/12/21, 31/12/21, it will be there. It will be there up to 31/3/22. Then the 91st day is NPA. That is 1st April 2022 is the NPA date. That means you need not bother about the loan due on 31/12/21. That is loan due or loan sanctioned on or after 31/12/21. All the accounts should be treated as NPA. So that means you have to consider all the loans due up to 30/12/21 or loans sanctioned before 30/12/21, because the 91st day falls on 31/3/2022. So the calculation of 90 days is important, and you have to remember the NPA cutoff date, which is 31/12/21. Is it clear, sir? If you got any doubt, you can put it in the chat box. So one is calculation of 90 days, that is very much important. And second one is NPA cutoff date. Is it clear, sir? You can put it in the chat box. If you're understandable, then I'm moving to the next thing. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Perfect, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Because this is a basic thing. First, the juniors or youngsters, they must understand. And seniors, you know that you have got a lot of experience. Okay, here, this is a proper classification of four category. One is substandard, D1, D2, D3. So a substandard account remains in the period of 12 months from the NPA date. Here, the identification of NPA date is very, very important. So it remains 1 year from the substandard. Then D2 remains from the period of 1 year from the D1. Then doubtful from period of D1 to D2, another period of 1 year, then that remains as permanent. Here, NPA date is 5/12/21. I have put 12 months ends on 4/12/22 because if you put 5/12/22, that means 1 year plus 1 day. So here from 12 months from the NPA date. So 4/12/22, it remains in the substandard category. Then D1 from 5/12/22 to 4/12 for 1 year. Another 1 year is D2. Another 1 year is D3, and it remains permanent till the party make the money or till the party upgrade the accounts. So this is the manner in which you have to do it. And another exercise I have given 7/7/21, again 1 year, 1 year, 1 year, 1 year. So in this manner you have to understand. So there are 4 categories. One is substandard, D1, D2, D3. In substandard, they are using the word 12 months. Others, they are using the word year, 1 year. So this is the difference between the two things. Next slide is with reference to, I already discussed, the use of the term overdue means you can use it for term loan, and out of order means cash credit loan. Out of order means it's a cash credit loan, you are facing it. And use of the term in NPA. Use of the term in NPA. Here they are using the word downgrade and upgrade. So this is also you have to remember. What is meant by downgrade? What is meant by upgrade? Downgrade means you have identified one account as NPA, and for the first 12 months it will be called as 12 months. It will be called as substandard. Then after that 1 year it is called as D1. Then D2, D3. That means it gradually the status is being reduced. Status is being reduced. What is upgradation? That is downgradation, you know it. What is upgradation? So upgradation means from D3, you have to upgrade only to standard. From D2, you have to upgrade only to standard. Then D1, you have to upgrade only to standard, and substandard to standard. And not, this is what you have to be very, very careful. You are not supposed to upgrade from D3 to D2, D2 to D1. No, it is not correct. You have, whenever you want to upgrade an account to standard account, standard asset, then you have to upgrade the amount that is from the status of D3, D2, D1 substandard to this standard. So this is a thing that you have to remember. And one thing that has been clarified in the February 1 circular is that this is also being clearly mentioned in the 2015 circular, but once again the RBI has come out with a clarification saying that if any upgradation has to be done, then the borrower has to pay all the dues up to the date and not only the overdue portion. When you want to upgrade the account, you have to pay the full amount due, that is on the date of upgradation. It is not, if any part amount is being paid, it will not be possible and it should be upgraded. And I have received some 2 questions. Organized to unmute. Yeah, okay. During the quarter, it is difficult to cover the question in chat box. So, Ramakrishnan sir, if you want, you can put it in the chat box. Otherwise, you at the end, you can put it in the question box and I'll give it the answer. And Manisha asked, his due date is account specific. Kindly ignore the above chart. Sorry. No problem. Whatever doubt you have got, even I have requested the members, you can put it in the chat box if possible. Then if it is not there, then you can ask me at the end, no problem. And is the due date account specific? That is, the due date is not account specific, sir. It is, the due date is specific when you identify that account as NPA. And the due date is clearly mentioned in the sanction letter. Based on that, you have to arrive at the NPA. Here, this is what Avinash sir asked, But anyhow, I've come out with a specification, due date specification. Please refer this circular. This is a circular, and in this circular, they clearly mentioned that the managers or the head office, they have to sanction the loan by specifying the due date. They say that this loan is effective from such and such date. In this letter, they say that the due date of the loan is 1 year without mentioning the due date. But RBI has come out specifically that in each and every sanction that has been done after 31/12/21, that is all fresh loans, the sanction letter should specifically contain the due date. 3/8/3/2/2022. It has to be clearly mentioned. But for all those loans, existing loans, at the time of review and renewal, they can modify, they can issue a fresh sanction letter by specifying the due date. This is the latest circular issued by the RBI on 12/11/2021. This is also another thing that you have to follow in the audit. If the circular, if the sanction letter is being issued by the banker after 31/12/21 without mentioning the due date, and it is a gross violation of RBI norms. So in the audit report, in the LFAR, you can report that this the branch has not followed the RBI guidelines issued on 12/11/2021. For the following accounts, the branch has not mentioned the due date of the loan. This is a thing that you have to take care of it during this year of audit. And here, there are two things that you have to remember. There are two things that you have to remember. One is, now Reserve Bank of India have already started to issue notices. They started to issue notices to the chartered accountants who have failed to identify the NPA, who have did the wrong classification of NPA. Because sometimes you would have found the NPA, but due to pressure given by the branch management or bank management, you have ignored or you have omitted to report the same in the report of MOC. But you are not supposed to yield to any pressure. If you identify that account as NPA, you have to report it. If you fail to report it, and if the RBI has found out in future, then you are answerable to the RBI. That's why even sometimes you are answerable to government, ICA, and court also, and even to the regulatory authorities also. So NPA, if it is not reported, then the auditor is personally responsible for the wrong classification, either in the form of omission or that is never cared to report NPA. So this is an important point that you have to bear in from this year, because the RBI has already started to issue notices to the chartered accountants. So don't be trapped by the NPA classification. You have to do the working correctly. This is a warning. It's a caution I want to tell to you through this open forum. And everything in reference to sanction, everything in reference to NPA classification is based on the sanction letter. That means you should know the reading habit of sanction letter. Any loan, you have to do the audit only based on the sanction letter. The sanction letter, they say that what is the loan amount sanctioned, whether it is funded advance or non-funded advance, what is the due date, what is the primary security, what is the collateral security, and whether it is a priority sector loan or non-priority sector loan. Everything is clearly mentioned in the sanction letter. So sanction letter is a base based on which you have to do the audit. Not you have to do the audit, and NPA is also a part of the audit. So everything depends on the sanction letter, and it is applicable for both domestic loans and foreign loans. And you have to see the thing for term loan and working capital loan. And Sunil Vinchu asked, sir, the manager never gives the latest internal return on reporting of irregular advances to their higher authorities, regional office, zonal office, how to report this and to whom. Sir, it's very, very simple, sir. If you ask any details and the manager, if they are not giving it or refusing it, don't worry, you report, you cover that point in your report and report it. And you don't to ask about the irregularity statement from the bankers. You can yourself, you can do it. On experience, by experience, you have to spend some 15 minutes or 20 minutes more. Then you can easily identify the irregularities upon. If they are not reported, and if the branches refuse to give the report, don't worry at all. You cover. I asked these details. The manager has not produced those details. That's all. our role ends where we report it. Then this is applicable for a term loan and working capital loan, and there is also doing agricultural term loan, agricultural working capital loan, and what are all the items eligible for the term loan? That is factory, land and building, machinery, vehicle, housing loan, personal loans, everything is there. So in this manner, you have to arrive at the classification. Here, now please concentrate. I'm going to divide the presentation session into non-agricultural advances and agricultural advances. Let me start with the non-agricultural advances, and that too, there is a term loan and cash credit loan. I'm going to start with term loan. In term loan, there are 5 methods of repayment. One is principal plus interest. In principal plus interest, if you go through the sanction letter, you can see that interest has to be paid as and when debited plus the number of dues. So whenever the branch they are charging interest, then the party has to make the interest payment. And principal separately. This is called as principal plus interest. Second one is EMI. EMI means equated monthly installment. That is coming out principal plus interest. This is called as EMI, equated monthly interest installment. Third one is holiday period interest plus EMI. Holiday period interest, moratorium, gestation period. For that, the banks, they are charging some interest, plus they are giving some time to the borrower to repay the principal or to repay the EMI. So first thing, they say that during the holiday period interest, say suppose we have borrowed a housing loan and the construction will take some time. So to that, if there any construction, if it takes time, then you have to pay only the interest. The principal can be paid only after the completion of the project, say housing, say even installation of machinery, because that may take some time, because after installation of machinery, you have to run. Then that time, lead time, that is a running lead time will be also be there. That period is also included in the holiday period. And where we can find this holiday period is clearly mentioned in the sanction letter. That is why I said everything is based on the sanction letter. So holiday period interest. Then next type of repayment is bullet repayment. Next type of repayment is bullet repayment. That is at one shot you have to make the payment. Now is a very good example is FITL, funded interest term loan. And fifth one is balloon repayment. How your balloon looks like? So the balloon looks like this. So the first installment is very less, and second is more, third is more, and fourth is more. So in this manner, you have to repay the loan. Now I am going to explain all the 5 methods with reference to NPA. First thing is principal plus interest. This I will go directly with the example. Here, there are 2 examples I have given. Here, the rule is interest has to be paid as and when debited. Then EMI, then the principal separately. The first method is principal plus interest. Calculate the number of dues from date of sanction to 30/12/21. Why 30/12/21? Because NPA cutoff date is 31/12/21. So you have to calculate the number of dues up to 30/12/21. So let us take it is 50 and per due installment is 1000. That means the principal amount has to be paid up to 30/12 is 50,000. One can ask, sir, what happened to interest? Don't worry about all. In the first method, you need not worry about the interest. You have to worry about only the principal. So this point bear in mind. One can ask, sir, what happened to interest in the first method? Don't worry at all, because the circular, the sanction letter says, if the interest has to be paid as and when debited, then go to the principal. Here we are calculating only the principal dues. So here the 50,000 rupees have to be paid. You have to deduct this 50,000 from 2 lakhs. That means the outstanding, as per point number 5, the outstanding should be 1,50,000 rupees. The outstanding balance should be 1,50,000. Now you go to the outstanding balance. I have given point number 6, point number 7. In the point number 6, the outstanding is 1,48,500. Actually, the outstanding should be 1,50,000. it is below the outstanding fixed. So 1,48,500, that means the borrower has paid the amount in advance. So that account has to be treated as standard. That account has to be treated as standard. And for example, point number 7, the outstanding is 1,53,500. That means the party balance should be 1,50,000, but actual balance is 1,53,500. That means that account has to be treated as NPA. Is it clear? Then if you are clear, then I'll move to the next point. Even go to the next exercise, point number 2. Total due up to point number 3 is 14,70,000. The sanction limit is 25 lakhs. So difference between sanction limit and outstanding, that is total due, is 10,30,000. Then point number 6, the outstanding is 9,85,000. That means the party paid the amount in advance. So that account has to be treated as standard. In the point number 7, the outstanding balance is 23,450. That means it has exceeded point number 5. So 10,30,000. So that account has to be treated as NPA. So if you understand, then put it in the chat box. Yes. Then I'll move to the second method. And meanwhile, Venkatramana Rao's Marapalli asked, so while asking about NPS, branch manager is telling that all classification will be done at their head office. What we have to do in our report. Sir, if that is the question, we need not go for the audit. See, the system gives you garbage in, garbage out. One. Second thing, I'll explain your question by way in the games portion, how they avoid the NPA. So could you explain why the interest is to be ignored if the principal itself is serviced? Vinshu sir, if the principal itself is serviced, we need not bother about the interest, because the sanction letter says interest has to be paid as and when it is debited plus principal. Here we are calculating for the principal. If the principal itself is serviced, automatically it is deemed that interest is also serviced. This is the concept. Because it will take just you take 1 minute, you understand it, so that it's very easy for the other methods. Okay, I'm moving to the second method. If you got any doubt, here you can put it in the chat box. Ramakrishna sir, you said no. For what? Here, in the first method, no interest. Okay, no interest. No interest means principal plus interest. You are calculating because principal comes after interest. So when principal is fully serviced, it is deemed to be taken that the interest is automatically serviced. That is why in the first method, we need not bother about the interest. So directly go to the principal. Directly you can do the NPA working. This is with reference to first method. I am moving to the second method, which is a EMI method, equated monthly installment. So this is also, I'll come with an example. Here, you have to take only the EMI. Here, you have to take only the EMI and not dues. So once again, the same exercise, you have to calculate the EMI from date of sanction to 30/12/21. So let us take it is 50. What is per EMI? It is 1,000 rupees. Then party has to pay 50,000 rupees. On or before 50,000 rupees is the due amount. Then you have to calculate the amount remitted into the account. In the first method, you have to deduct that from the outstanding balance. In the second method, you have to you have to take the amount remitted into the account. The amount remitted into the account. That is in the point number 4. That is the amount of EMI is to be taken as 50,000 rupees. In case if it is remitted, that is remitted amount is 60,000 rupees. And that means instead of 50,000, the party has paid 60,000. That means he has paid the amount in advance. Then point number 5. He has paid only 40,000. Instead of 50,000 due, the party has paid only 40,000. That means there's a shortfall in payment of EMI. EMI we are calculating up to 30/12/21. So as per point number 5, that account will become NPA. Is it clear, sir? It's a very, very simple logic. You have to calculate total EMI to be paid. What is the amount paid? Compare it. If the paid amount exceeds due, everything is serviced, you can treat that account as standard. Otherwise, it is substandard or NPA. Is it clear, sir? Date of sanction. DOS means date of sanction. From date of sanction. And in outstanding balance includes interest part also, while NPA classification, that amount needs to be excluded or included in the first case. Shishindri, I will tell one thing. The sanction letter says interest amount has to be paid by the party as and when it is debited. Okay, the party has paid the interest or not, that is a different issue. Now you have to, that is interest first, then only the principal. If you calculate for the principal, automatically if the principal itself is serviced, then it is deemed to be taken that the interest is also serviced. Based on which you are doing the first method. In second method, you have to consider only the EMI, equated monthly installments. Here, there is no question of interest. And point number 4, that is amount paid by the party into the account. That means you have to take only the genuine credit, only the genuine credit. What is a genuine credit? Genuine credit is the money actually paid by the party. It should not be paid by way of adjustment in the loan account. It should not be paid by way of loan repayment, new loan sanctioned, or some others money should not be included in the loan account. Here I want to say a very, very important thing from the bank, audit sanction or advances thing. With reference to term loan, what are the items allowed in the term loan that you should know? What are the items that are allowed in the term loan? One is the loan sanction amount. Second one is interest charged. Third one is bank charges. Only these 3 items are allowed in term loan and no further thing. Sometimes insurance they are debiting it. Okay, that is okay. But there should not be any debit in the term loan and it should not be transferred to some other loan account. If that is there, then it is against the banking rules and regulation. So one thing is clear, in the term loan, you have only amount sanctioned, then interest, then charges. Only these 3 items are included and no further items. Insurance, inspection charges. Yeah, that is, Nirupama, you are correct. That is allowed. That is why they said charges. Right, so I have received another question from our friend Mr. Kumar. If loan is sanctioned in the early years, how to analyze the service of the loan of principal plus interest on the loan status? It's a very good question, Mr. Kumar. One thing, the loan is sanctioned in the previous year, yes, but you are doing audit for this year. When you are doing the audit for this year, when you are calculating the total number of dues from date of sanction to now, that means it is inclusive of every year. So you have to do physically the total dues from date of sanction to now and go to the, then this has to be deducted from the outstanding, that is loan sanction amount. And what will be the outstanding balance? Then compare the outstanding balance with the actual due amount, that is actual due amount to be fixed. So based on that, you have to do it, but you have to do once again the previous, you have to calculate from the date of sanction. Automatically, you have to consider the earlier year. Here, you are considering only the dues, but don't bother about the transaction that has taken place in the account. And also, I have received some 2 questions. If the term loan is being repaid by standing instruction by debiting CC account every month, and the CC account is regular, then it is permitted. And what if the CC amount is not, say, when a term loan account is being repaid out of cash credit loan, yes, it is permitted, provided to the equal amount of the amount transferred from CC to term loan, there should be sufficient genuine credit into the account. It should not be paid out of the loan account. So if they are transferring some 50,000 rupees every month, that means the party should have paid 50,000 or 52,000 rupees into the account. Suppose he has paid only 42,000 and if the money is transferred to the extent of 50,000, then that is not to be a genuine credit. Then that account can be classified as NPA till the account is being regularized in CC account. That is also allowed. Yes, that is transfer from CC to term loan is allowed, but transfer from term loan to CC is not allowed. This point you can take note of it. Transfer from CC to term loan is allowed. Transfer from term loan to CC, it is not allowed. And Chandi Prasad asked, term loan installment is being paid by using working capital limit, which is not fully utilized, can we say the term loan repayment is not genuine? Yes, sir, you can say that, but provided, sir, there should be sufficient credit available in the cash credit account. That is, at least to the extent of transfer from CC to term loan, the party should have brought some genuine credit into the account. Then only it is allowed. Now I am moving to the third method. Now I am moving. Is it second method is clear? Is the second method is clear, sir? Now I am moving to the third method. Third method and are almost equivalent to first and second method. And third method is holiday period interest plus EMI. Holiday period interest plus EMI. I'm coming with an example directly because it's a virtual forum, so you can understand easily if I go directly to the example. Holiday period interest from date of sanction till holiday period you have to add. This is first. Second, you have to calculate the EMI from the end of the holiday period to 30/12/21. Suppose if holiday period is there but installment has not started, Reserve Bank has already clarified that holiday period interest should be paid within 90 days from the end of the quarter. This is what clearly they have stated in the RBI circular. Here, the repayment has already started. Holiday period interest you add. Here, EMI you have to add till 30/12/21. You have to add both the things. That is the total amount due to be paid by the borrower to the banker. This is step one. Go to step two. You have to add all the amount remitted into the account for the period from the date of sanction to 31/3/21. They ask why 31/3/22 you have to add, because the 90 days due should have been paid on or before 31/3/22. So you have to add all the amount of 31/3/22. You have to compare it. Then that account has to be, if the credit exceeds the amount due, then that account has to be treated as standard. Otherwise, it is not standard. Let us go to the example. That is, the holiday period is 20,000. The total EMI to be paid is 50,000. That means point number 5, the total amount to be paid by the party is 70,000. Point number 6, the party has paid 80,000. Instead of 70,000, the party has paid 80,000. That is the dues in advance. And point number 7, the party has paid only 60,000. Instead of 70,000, the party has paid only 60,000. Then that account will be treated as NPA. Is it clear, sir? The same thing, 1 and 2, the same concept you can apply to the third method. Is it clear, sir? Holiday period interest, gestation period interest, moratorium period. All are to be called as the holiday period interest. If you are confident with third method, then I'm moving to the fourth method. Is it clear, friends? Thank you very much. Please follow the presentation, because this is going to be your bank audit life. If you wrongly classify, then you have to answer the RBI. So please understand the concept, then you can do it. Now, next one is point number 4. That is called as bullet repayment. Bullet repayment means a loan is being given by the banker and the borrower is asked to repay the entire loan repayment in one shot. That is called as bullet repayment. Just like bullet, you have to repay it. So FITL, that is funded interest term loan. This term is being used during the COVID, because during the COVID, due to the moratorium, they converted all the unpaid interest or unserviced interest into one loan, and that amount has to be paid on or before 31/3/2021. So this is a very, very important thing that you have to consider during this year, because if any FITL is being given, and if it is to be paid on or before, that is, if it is to be paid 31/3/21, then the due date is 29/6/2021. That is where 90 days ends. So any FITL which is due on 31/3/21, if it is not paid on or before 29/6/2000, just if you want, you can take note. Take note of the date. The FITL which is due on 31/3/21, because of this COVID situation, this is called as, this is coming under the category of bullet payment. This has to be paid on or before 29/6/2021. Otherwise, that account will become NPA on 30/6/21. It is not only that account, all the accounts of the borrower will become NPA. And here another important point that you have to bear in mind that only during COVID, normally with reference to restructured accounts, if any loan is being restructured, downgrade is possible. That is the RBI's general circular. But during COVID, if any restructuring is done, then the same status continue till the date mentioned in the order. That means even though the restructuring is being done, then it has got no effect in CIBIL, then it should not be downgraded. This is a clear instruction given by the RBI. So this is the second thing. So they say that FITL has to be paid on or before 31/3/21. Then the due date, if it is not paid on or before 29/6/2021, then that FITL and all other terms will become NPA. Okay. Another important point that you have to bear in mind that a restructured account should not be restructured once again. Once an account has become has been restructured, you should not restructure. Normally, in few circulars, they say that restructuring is allowed in the restructured account only after 1 year. But any restructuring, if it is being done by the bank, please go through the circular of the bank's head office. There you will easily find out. So this is the thing I want to say about the bullet repayment. Next one is balloon repayment. Balloon repayment, you just see the balloon. It starts in a very small gap. Then it goes big. So that means, take the example of college. It's an educational institution. In the first year, you will be admitted some 100 students. In the second year, you will be admitted 100 plus 100, 200. So the repayment has to be fixed as per the terms, as per the fund generation from the project. So even you can insist the bankers. Suppose whenever you are advising your client and when you are approaching the bankers, you can ask for the balloon repayment. A balloon looks like this. So first year very less. So less stress. Then slowly they are increasing. This type of repayment is called as balloon repayment. In balloon repayment, you can follow the concept of 1, concept of 2. So the repayment style is different, but the method of repayment remains the same. Any doubt with reference to 5 type of loan repayment? One is principal plus interest, second one is EMI, third one is holiday period interest, interest plus EMI, fourth one is bullet repayment, fifth one is balloon repayment. This is in this 5 method, you have to do the NPA working with reference to non-agricultural term. And Venu Madhav said, yes, it is clear. Venkat Ramana sir, it said clear. If you got any doubt, I'll stop here. I'll expand so that hereafter I will not touch this term. I'll go to the CC. Is it clear, sir? Holiday alone. Ramakrishna sir, if holiday alone is there, then holiday period interest you have to calculate only up to the quarter end from there 90 days. From there 90 days. Because holiday period and principal. If the principal is not started, then you have to calculate only the holiday period. For holiday period, you have to calculate only up to the due date, up to the quarter end. From the end of the quarter, you have to add 90 days. And if it is not paid, then that account will be treated as NPA. And according to my experience, almost 70% or 80% of housing loans, 70% or 80% of education loans will become NPA. Sir, FITL becomes NPA on 36. Yes, sir, you are correct. I think Nirupama, you are correct. Because you add to 90 days from 31/3. It falls on 29/6/2021. So automatically that account will become NPA on 36/21. You are correct, sir. You are correct, Nirupama. So with reference to balloon repayment, this is a rule. And according to my experience, everything is based on the sanction letter. and housing loan and education loan will automatically almost 70 to 80% loans will become NPA. I said, why? This is my experience, because wherever I go for audit, I have found that the holiday period interest is not being considered by the software of the bank. Holiday period interest is not being taken care of by the bank software. So you have to do it manually. You have to arrive it, then do the NPA calculation. Don't rely on the bank software directly. You have to refer the software, but you have to do the working on your own. So housing loan and education loan will become NPA. Here, I want to share a very good experience that I have got in my bank audit career. So everything depends on the sanction letter. So in education loan, in which one bank has sanctioned the education loan, they clearly mentioned the sanction letter say that the interest has to be paid as and when it is debited, and the loan amount has to be paid at the end of the course or 1 year, whichever is later. But what the sanction letter says, from the as and when interest is debited, it has to be paid. Normally, in education loan, as per the IBA guidelines, then it has to be paid only after the course completion or 1 year. That is after course completion plus 1 year, or when the job has got which has become earlier from the installment starts. But IBA guidelines clearly state that all the simple interest, it is not compound interest. All the simple interest that is debited in the education loan has to be added and has to be added to the principal. From there, the EMI has to be fixed. But in the one of the bank where I went for audit, I noticed that as per the sanction letter, they paid the amount. They have to pay the amount as and when the interest is debited. If it is not paid as per the sanction, then that account will be termed as NPA. Then I discussed this with the branch manager. When I discussed this with the branch manager, the time it was around night 10:30. And I said, sir, all your education loans to the tune of 14 crores, I am going to classify as NPA. I think a friend asked. Modi sir, I'll come to the thing. Just wait, I'll share my experience, then come to you, because this is in this exercise, in this example, what are the important NPA techniques that is being affected, that is being done by the manager, and how to come out of it, everything that I'm going to explain. Here, I said that 14 crores of your branch has become NPA. Then he said, no, sir, first objection by the manager is, sir, you don't know anything about the education loan. I said, okay, I don't want to know anything about the education loan. I want to do the audit as per the sanction letter. Okay, even I am proud to say that I am the only person in entire India, even now, right now also, I want to say, I am the only person in entire India who has organized the education loan awareness seminar to the parents and students. And I have organized this seminar at Salem. And it was attended by, in the first lot, it was attended by more than 6,000 people. I have given them everything free, all free, no charges. I have provided them all coffee, scribbling pad, pen, and I have taken that class for more than 3.5 hours. And the meeting ended after 6 hours. So I know what are the rules and regulations of educational loan, but that manager said, no, you don't know anything about the education loan. I will never bother, but I have to do the audit as per the sanction letter. Then he was not able to convince me. Then what he did, sir, if my sanction is being ratified by the regional manager, can you accept? He said, okay, first you get the ratification. At the time when we had discussion, it was around night 11 o'clock. It was around night 11 o'clock. Then the manager went outside. Then after 20 minutes, he came back. Sir, I have already informed the regional manager. So he is sitting at the branch. He was sitting at the branch. He can call the regional manager over phone from the branch. But what he did, he has gone downstairs and he has said that, sir, I have already informed the regional manager. Regional manager within 5 minutes, he will send the ratification letter about the terms of condition that interest need not be paid as and when it is debited. It has to be paid only at the course end. As per the IBA guidelines, the RM is ready to send the letter. I said, okay. Then after 15 minutes, the branch has received a fax saying that the terms and conditions of sanction made by the branch manager is being ratified in such a manner that all the interest has to be collected only at the end of the course. Then on seeing the facts, I found one very big mistake. Then I asked the manager, sir, please take Xerox copy of the facts and you please sign the facts. Now that is that Xerox copy, because the facts will fade away in another 1 day or 2 days. Then after producing the same duly signed by the manager, then I started to discuss with the branch manager saying that, sir, this is a fake fax message. First thing I said, it's a fake fax message. You want to cheat the auditor to get the signature. The same word I used. You want to cheat the auditor to get the signature. And how? Then he said, how, sir? It's being signed by the regional manager. Yes. Salem has got a pin code of 0427. Coimbatore, the regional office is at Coimbatore. Zonal, there is regional office, there is Coimbatore has got a pin code of 0422. 0427 is at Salem. The regional office is 0427. If at all the fax has to come from Coimbatore, the fax number should start from 0422. But actually the fax has come only from 0427. That means what this manager did, he has gone downstairs, he has gone to a browsing center, he has typed a letter and he asked the browsing center man to send after 10 minutes or 15 minutes. So in fax, from any number also, from any number, one number to another number, it will come. But if they produce any fax message, then you have to see the genuineness. Here I want to say one important thing with reference to this type of tactics is any fax message or any ratification in the sanction terms and conditions of the branch manager, it has to be approved only by the credit committee of the regional office. To convene the credit committee, the banker, they have to give at least 3 days notice to call for the meeting. Here, the manager got the sanction, that is a ratification letter within 10 minutes. So this is one doubt. Second thing, the fax has come from 0427 to 0427. Then third point, what I did, I called the regional manager and said that, sir, have you signed any letter like this? Then he said, no, just I've already gone to bed by 9 o'clock. Now the time is 11:30. No, what is the problem? Then I explained everything to him. Then you give the phone to him. Then he asked the manager what has happened. Said, no, sir, to get the NPA, to get out of the NPA, I did this type of tactics. Then then he said, okay, you give the phone to the assistant manager. Then he gave the phone to the assistant manager, then say that now I am suspending the manager. Don't encourage him and don't allow him to sit in the manager cabinet. It was around night 11:30. So here the exercise is one thing, you have to go according to the sanction letter. And if any fax or if any mail is being produced by the bankers to you, then you have to see the genuineness of that. You are not supposed to blindly rely on those fax mails. This is the experience I want to tell to you. So according to me, the educational loan, everything is based on the sanction letter, and it is housing loans and education loans will definitely become NPA. Or my experience as a system sometimes are not considering the holiday period interest. Please, whenever you are going audit for this year, please take note of it. You can do it. And now I am coming to the question of Mr. Murthy regarding rate of interest. Branch manager stated that MCLR in that period, later RLR, later EBLR, according to their convenience. So much confusion. Which one is to be considered? Murthy sir, the question is very, very simple. You have to do the audit only as per the rate mentioned in the sanction letter. They can change any date. If at all they are changing the term from MCLR to RLR and EBLR, their regional manager or the sanctioning authority, they have to pass a special letter. They have to issue a special letter to the branch manager. Sometimes also cut copy mistake. Yeah, that is also there. Sir, Murthy sir, it is one thing I want to share. The loan is being sanctioned for the tannery industry, but the conditions are stated for the furniture industry. It's all cut and paste. But anyhow, you have to be very, very careful, because this you can analyze from the reading of the sanction letter. Next item is cash credit loan. Here there are 8 methods. Now I presume that the term loan portion, I think you have understood clearly. Now I am moving to the cash credit loan. In cash credit loan, there are 8 methods. There are 8 methods based on which you have to identify that CC account as NPA. Again, everything is based on the sanction letter, and you ignore point number 2. Then see the sanctions on or before 31/12/21. See the sanctions on or before that. It is not 1/1/22. You have to see see the sanctions on or before 1/1. That is not 1/1/22. It is 31/12/2021. See the sanction on or before 31. Now I am moving to step 1. I am moving to step 1. Here, the cash credit loan, if you are going for statutory audit, you can consider the last quarter. If you are going for the concurrent audit, you have to do it on quarterly basis. But everything you have to do based on the sanction letter. So you have to take the quarterly interest ending on 31/3/2022, because we are going for the statutory audit. So first step is you have to add all interest for the period from 1/1/21 to 31/3/22. You have to add only interest, and the interest includes the penal interest and not charges. You have to add only the interest, and the interest includes penal interest and not the charges. This is the first step. Then go to the credit side. You have to add all the payment that is being made into the account for the period from 1/1/21 to 31/3/22. Add only the genuine credit into the account. So it is up to you to design whether it is a genuine credit or not. Now, this is the amount, total interest due to be paid. This is the amount paid. Compare it. If the amount paid exceeds the interest, then that account is to be termed as regular account. It is not termed as that is out of regular account, or every interest is serviced. Then that account has to be treated as standard. In case the amount due to be paid has not been serviced properly, then that account has to be termed as NPA. Here, for the example is, the interest debited is 35,000. Only the genuine credit, the amount, the first example is 40,000. Instead of 35,000, the amount paid is 40,000. That means all interest is serviced as per the first method, account is regular. In case the party paid only 30,000, then that means there was a shortfall of 35,000. Shortfall from the 35,000, then that account has to be treated as NPA. So this is the first method. In the first method, and there is a difference that sometimes the outstanding balance may exceed the sanction limit. Sometimes the outstanding balance may be less than the sanction limit. This comes in the method of step 1. Step 1 is add all interest for the quarter, then add all the credits for this quarter, then compare it. If the amount paid exceeds the interest, then everything is serviced. The account is to be termed as standard, otherwise not. Are you clear, sir? This is with reference to step 1. You can put it in the chat box if it is clear. Step 1. Yes, Vinchu said yes. Only one, yes. Sir, why I am repeatedly asking is, you have to be attentive, because this is way in which you have to do the audit, you should not be trapped for wrong understanding or not understanding the concept of NPA. Because I want everyone to be a performing auditor and not as non-performing auditor. Please concentrate. And this is a very, very simple thing because I am presenting from the youngsters angle, from the freshers angle, as well as for the seniors, it may be a revision. Okay, this is step one. And during this, I have received a question from Harinaran. Please clarify whether date of sanction or disbursement loan to arrive at the NPA. Yes, Harinaran is a very good exam, very good question. Whether we have to do the NPA based on the sanction or based on the date of disbursement. Normally, it is from the date of disbursement. Date of sanction is different. Date of document execution is different. Date of disbursement is different. There are three things. So you have to, because from the date of disbursement, the payment comes, but when you execute the document, that is the date from where you have to do it. So date of sanction and based on the date of sanction. Date of sanction and the date of execution of the document. From the date of execution of the document, you have to arrive at the NPA. Normally, we are saying that from date of sanction. What is from date of sanction? Whenever they open the account, that we have to presume that it is from date of sanction. Normally, it may be from date of document execution, or it may be from the date of the date of disbursement. So this is step one. Here, I'm going to step two. What is step two? Step two is nothing but on any one particular day. See, if you go to the outstanding balance for the period from 1/1/22 to 31/3/22, you go to the outstanding balance. The rule says at least on one particular day, the outstanding balance should fall below the sanction limit. At least on one particular day, the outstanding balance should fall below the sanction limit. Then only you can say that that account has to be treated as standard. In case the entire 90 days, say from 1/1/22 to 31/3/22, the entire outstanding balance exceeds the sanction limit, then that cash credit account should be termed as NPA. This is a second thing that you have to take note of. This you can easily observe when you scrutinize the cash credit account, but you should know all the rules of all the 8 rules. Is it clear? So second method, in the second method, first method, some days outstanding balance exceeds the sanction limit or sometimes not. In second method, the entire outstanding balance exceeds the sanction limit. To become regular on at least one particular day, the limit should brought down below the sanction limit. This is step 2. I'm moving to step 3. This which is equal to step 1. That is, the outstanding balance is below the sanction limit. It never exceeded the sanction limit. You go to the same period of 1/1/22 to 31/3/22, you go to the outstanding balance, and on the entire outstanding balance, the sanction, it is below the sanction limit. Then if that is the case, okay, we have to follow the third rule. What third rule says? Again, we have to adopt the rule of step 1. Add all the interest for the period from 1/1/22 to 31/3/22, go to the credit side. You add all the genuine credit, then compare it. If the credit exceeds the amount interest to be paid, then that account has to be treated as NPA, otherwise not. Whether sanction limit or drawing power, whichever is less, it is a sanction limit, Jyoti Mike. It is the sanction limit. It is not drawing power. Drawing power concept, it comes in step 4. Please wait. There are 3 methods so far I have discussed. The drawing power concept comes in the step 4. Are you clear with the entire step 3? Step 1, step 2, step 3. Okay. I'm now moving to step 4, which is a drawing power concept. Before going to the drawing power, I want you to know about the stock statement verification, because drawing power concept is being made based on the non-submission of the stock statement, or it has been arrived on the basis of stock and debtor concept. Just give me 1 second, I'll come. Please explain once again step 3. Step 1 and step 3 are one and the same. Step 1 and step 3 are one and the same. In step 1, some days outstanding balance exceeds the sanction limit, some days not. Here in step 3, the outstanding balance will be always less than the sanction limit. This is the only one difference between step 1 and step 3. Based on that, you have to do the NPO work. Now I am moving to step 4. Is stock statement verification. First thing, everything depends on the sanction letter. The sanction letter, you can see what is the margin that the party has to maintain. Here, I want to explain what is margin. Because 100 rupees is stock. The manager's, that is, owner's contribution is 20% or 25%, which is clearly stated in the sanction letter. And the remaining amount is bankers' funds. The remaining amount is bankers' funds. So here 100 rupees stock is there, deduct 25%. So bankers' fund is 75 rupees. That is called as drawing power. It's a simple term. That is, what is the bankers' fund? That is to be taken as the drawing power. So here refer the sanction letter and also see the margin. A stock statement has to be submitted by the party either on monthly basis or quarterly basis, half yearly basis or annual basis. And date of submission is very much important. It is clearly stated in the sanction letter that a stock statement has to be submitted by the borrower to the bank on or before 7th of the following month or 10th of the following month. Based on that, before the date, the party has to submit the stock statement to the bank. Then that date of submission of the stock statement should be clearly mentioned by the party by way of affixing the seal on the stock statement. And this stock statement has to be written in a register called stock register. And in the stock register, it is clearly mentioned that date of due of submission, date of submission of the stock statement, and what are the value of the stock statement, and what is the margin, and remaining amount. Based on the remaining amount, they are arriving at the drawing power. So this is fourth one. Third one is delay in submission of the stock statement. Penal interest will be charged by the bankers. Then items tallied with the sanction. What is item tallied with the sanction means the loan is being sanctioned for the furniture, but instead the loan is being, the stock statement is being produced in the form of rice, wheat and everything. So as an auditor, you have to see what are the items that is being mentioned in this stock statement. And the branch manager has to do the inspection once in 6 months or once in 2 months as per these terms and conditions that is being mentioned in the sanction letter. And the LC stock should not be taken. What is LC? LC means letter of credit. Why LC comes here? Because bank guarantee is different, LC is different. Bank guarantee, there are two types of bank guarantee. One is performance guarantee. Second one is financial guarantee, which is directly related to the performance. Means if any contract is not completed within the time, then bankers, they will reimburse the cost to the affected party. And financial guarantee is the guarantee given by the banker if the payment is not being made on such and such date with reference to the loan amount, then the bankers, they repay it. That is a financial guarantee. LC is related to the supply of goods. There are two types of LC. One is inland LC, second one is foreign LC. LC, inland LC or FLC, that is okay. Till the payment is being made by the party to the supplier of the goods, then the ownership lies with the supplier of the goods. So one can ask how we can find the LC. And when you go through the sanction letter, if the LC is there, LC column is mentioned, then that means the party has availed LC. Otherwise, if it is not mentioned in the sanction letter, LC will not be there. So you need not worry. So you have to remove the LC stock. You have to remove the creditor stock because the ownership of that goods belong to the creditors. So LC stock and creditor stock should not be included in the stock statement. And based on that, you have to arrive at the drawing power. This I'll explain with an example on a later part. And data statement, I think I have received a question with reference to stock statement. One is, that is from Avinash. Biggest gray area during the audit is stock statement. There is no relation between stock statement and audited financial statement. What stands to be taken? Sir, Avinash sir, there is one column in the stock audit report that what is the stock that is being stated on 31st March of 2021 and what is the audited figure of 31/3/21, and if there is any difference in the bankers, they had to arrive at the fresh drawing power and they charge the penal interest for that period. This is the only thing they can take. But here, as per the latest norms of the income tax, they now used to take the statement from the banks. What is the closing stock that is stated in the balance sheet, and what is the stock statement that is being submitted by the party to the bank? They are taking it, they are comparing it. And if there is very wide difference, they are adding that to the income of yours. And Ushma Jain asked, sir, what to do when March month statement is not matched? Sir, that is why I just explained. Not many times, sir, in almost all banks, the actual stock will never tally with the stock statement. But anyhow, bankers, they have to run the show. Auditors, we have to do the audit. That's all. And see the margin. Again, you have to refer the sign with reference to data statement. Please refer the sanction letter and you have to see the margin. Normally, the margin will be around 40% of the debts. And see the age-wise and customer-wise. What the age-wise? Age-wise means what is the duration of the debtors. The bankers, they consider the duration of debtors only up to 90 days. If the debtors are more than 90 days, they will never consider, they will remove it. They will not consider for the purpose of calculation of drawing power. And you have to take customer-wise. Why customer-wise? Sister concern debts, association concern debts should not be forming part of the data statement. You have to remove that also. So whenever you are verifying the data statement, you have to verify the data based on the age-wise and customer-wise. So this is also part of the practical issues which I have to address. This is one of the part that is why I am going depth here, because based on that you have to arrive DP. Here I explain how to arrive at the DP. And sister concern debts should be excluded, and accumulation if any, and you have to see whether those debts will actually come or not. So bad debts concept you have to arrive at, and CA certificate as per the sanction, that is, as charter accountant has to produce the stock and data statement once in 3 months, once in 6 months, once in a year. Everything depends on the sanction letter. Here I want to share a very good experience or bad experience. Because please don't do this. Please, the caption is please don't do this. I'll tell the practical issue, practical experience which has taken place in my area, in my Salem area, in and around Salem. See, one of the customer at Salem, he has borrowed around 44 crores loan from one of the nationalist banks. And the statutory auditor is a limited company, it's a steel rolling company. The statutory auditor of the company, he has said that in his audit report that the company is not running well and stock is not sufficient, the electricity bill is not being paid. So electricity is the based on which you have to see whether the company is functioning, whether the factory is functioning or not. So he has given all the adverse report in his report. Then, as per the sanction letter, the party has to produce the stock and data statement once in 6 months. When he approached the statutory auditor of that company, he said, no, I will not sign. If at all you want me to sign, you have to produce all the records related to purchase, sales, actual stock with photograph. I will come and verify it. Then what is the life of the stock, life of the debtors, everything you have to produce, and you have to produce all the accounts. Then only I will sign the statement. He said, no, sir, it is not possible because we have closed the unit for more than 4 months. So we will not be in a position to give those records because all those records are zero. Then he said, okay, it will not, I will not sign. Then if at all, if anybody signs, then he said, okay, it is up to you to get the signature, but I will not be responsible for that. Then this person, this company has approached an youngster. Be careful. This is an advice to the youngsters or freshers. Yeah, they've approached the youngsters or freshers. Normally seniors, they won't do it. And saying that, sir, my company auditor is out of station, and please sign the stock statement or debtor statement. And I'm ready to give all the management certificate or all the records which you want. Then you please sign it, but I'll pay you 5 lakhs as fee for signing this document, because this has to be produced before the bank. Otherwise, the penal interest per month, it will cost more than 15 lakhs. So I'm ready to pay you 5 lakhs. So he's only a fresher. Just now he has completed, only 3 months old. He has been paid 5 lakhs and he has simply signed based on the management declaration. I have certified this. The same tactics is adopted for 3 years from the 6 auditors. Then after that, that borrower, he ran away and he has colluded with the party. He has colluded with the party. Then that account become NPA, and the bank, they referred the matter under the category fraud. They have reported this case to CBI, and now CBI has started to do the investigation. The CBI has already started to issue notice to the 6 young chartered accountants. Now they are facing the problem, and now they are facing the CBI for the last 4 years. For the last 4 years, still the case has not come. Different days they call for the details, but different details they used to call. And one thing, they have not maintained proper working notes except the management letter. Okay, because that means they failed in the they have said that it's a negligence of duty on the part of the young chartered accountants. Just for 5 lakhs, they are facing a CBI case, and the case has already been gone to the disciplinary committee. Still the case is pending with disciplinary committee. Then I said, even two members, I have assisted them, but I asked him why you have failed. But anyhow, we can safeguard, but that is not the correct stand. My sincere advice, my sincere caution to the chartered accountants: please don't sign other auditors' case. And if at all you become the company's auditor, you sign it. Otherwise, don't sign other auditors' case. Because I'm very much worried about these 6 young chartered accountants. Just for money, they were trapped. Please don't do it. Because the fraud definition of RBI says, if any fraud is undetected during the course of audit, then the auditor is held personally responsible for the loss to the bank, apart from losing a certificate, facing insured action, court action, RBI action, what all the actions, everything that should be there. And if you are a party to the fraud, if the bank says that if you are a party to the part, or if you are colluded with the party to do the fraud, then you are answerable to the loss to the bank also. Please don't sign, don't do this type of mistake. That's why in reference to point 5, I want to share this experience to you. And I've received one question from Rajya Lashmi. Sir, is it sufficient if stock statements are just simply on white paper? Any cross verification required? Rajya Lashmi, whether it's a proper white paper or in the prescribed format, this has to be verified, certified by the first instance by the branch manager, and the branch manager has to go and verify those units. As we are a stock auditor, you have to take that paper along with the branch manager. You have to go and verify the unit. Then if you are satisfied, then it is okay. Whether it is signed on white paper or prescribed form, that is immaterial. And analysis of bad debts, whether there's any debts will become bad debts, that you have to do. Now I am coming to the DP calculation. It is also one of the exercise of the practical approach to bank audit. Total stock is there. From this total stock, you have to deduct obsolete stock, you have to deduct creditor figure, you have to deduct LC stock. The remaining is, point number 3 is, it is called as paid stock. From the paid stock, deduct margin. Then point number 5 is drawing power. It is nothing simple. It is very, very simple. That point number 3 is total stock. Remove the owner's margin. That is 4. Then remaining is bank's finance. Bank finance is equivalent to the drawing power. This is with reference to stock, DP stock. And DP debtors. DP debtors is here. DP debtor is total book debts less debts above 90 days or 120 days, you have to exclude. This 90 days or 1 day, 120 days, you can get it from the sanction letter, and out of the net book debts, deduct the margin of 40%. The remaining is drawing power. Okay, sir, this is the thing based on which you can arrive at the DP calculation with reference to debtors. And Ramakrishna sir asked one question. LC, you mean outstanding LC in respect of which the supply has come? So yes, sir, the outstanding LC, suppose if the LC is being issued and if the payment is already being honored by the party, you need not bother about the LC. And that ownership comes to the borrower. In case LC is being issued by the banker and the payment is still to be confirmed by the party, then that LC, that is the stock ownership of that goods, belong to the supplier of the goods. So that should not be forming part of the stock. And Premja asked practically branch managers saying that at the time of visit, stock was that much, which is mentioned in the statement, but on the date of auditor's visit, it has been reduced. What to do in this scenario, Premja? We have to do the audit as per the date of our visit. Don't bother about the managers' lot of stories. Managers, they tell a lot of stories. He's a very good customer, sir. He is keeping all CASA funds in the month of Friday. So everything they will tell, lot of stories they will tell. Don't worry at all. Whenever you are going for audit, at the time of your visit, if there is no stock, you have to report that there is no stock. So it is your duty. You don't bother about the manager's story. And DP is not updated in CBS sanction limit, and the DP are same. Yeah, Nirpama, sometimes, not sometimes, every time the stock statement figures should be updated in this system. Normally bankers, they are not doing, even in one of the banks where I have gone for audit, they abruptly say that 100 rupees stock, 100 rupees loan, 145 is the stock. Every month they put the figure. That is the manager, they colluded with the borrower. But as an auditor, you have to do the individual working, then only you have to arrive at the DP. And next question is being raised by if DP is not updated, can we call it? Yes. Ramasha sir, if DP is not updated, you have to do it and you have to see that whether the DP is correct as per the working or not. If it is not that, then you can update NPA. And Hashmus asked what in case when cash credit is already used, but DP is less. Example is cash credit limit is 10 lakhs, DP is 8 lakhs for the regularly for 3 lakhs. And the simple concept, I think this is being explained in point number 4, Hashmus. And just give me 2 minutes time, I will answer your question and you can easily understand by way of my experience. If it is not, that is if the outstanding balance exceeds the DP for a continuous period of 3 months, then that account has to be classified as NPA. You are absolutely correct. This is clearly stated in step 4. Still, I have to come to the step 4. Here, DP calculation as per the debtors we have worked out. Now, it is DP as per stock. This we have debtors you have to add. And this is the total DP. Compare this with the outstanding balance. So this is, I think, that is Ramesh sir. Ramesh Jain sir, this is the answer for your question. If you have point number 3, this is a total DP. And point number 4, outstanding balance, you compare it. The outstanding balance should be below the drawing power. Otherwise, that account has to be treated as NPA. Here, I am going to ask you one question. Can a DP of stock is -1 or can negative stock be adjusted against positive debtors DP? Can negative stock of stock can we net it? Ramakrishnan has said no, and Sunil plays very cleverly. Depends on credit worthiness of the borrower. Sir, Sunil Vinchu, I want to say the credit worthiness of the borrower has got no relevance with reference to arrival of drawing power. We can net it. Sometimes, why I can say we can net it, I'll give the answer. It's not our business. Sir, it is not our business. It is our business, sir. You can net it. I'll tell with an example. Because the party, that is the stock statement figure is minus because they sold the entire stock. There is no stock. Because total stock, creditors exceed the total stock. That means the stock on hand, they sold it to the debtors. The balance is being represented in the form of the debtors. Balance is being represented in the form of the debtors. So we can net it. This is my view. But this is, I think, many occasions I proved that this is a correct view. We can net the minus of stock plus of debtors, then arrive at. Okay, I'm moving to the step 4. Drawing power is less than the outstanding balance for the period from 122. Now you know what is drawing power. Then the outstanding balance should fall below this drawing power. Then if it is not there, then that account has to be treated as NPA. This is step 4. Step 5 is the limit is not renewed for a period of 180 days from the due date of renewal. That is you ignore it. So here, one very important point that I want to say about this step 5 is a cash credit limit is valid for a period of 1 year. From the end of the 1 year, within a period of 180 days, then that account has to be renewed. It is to be said that a cash credit limit has to be renewed within 180 days from the original due date. You know, take the note of it, from the original due date of the loan. Within 180 days, you have to renew it. Sometimes the bankers, they are doing some temporary extension or ad hoc extension or some review during that period, say 1 month, 2 months to extend the due date. But any type of extension in the form of temporary, ad hoc or review should be within that 180 days. It should not exceed 180 days. It means a cash credit loan has to be renewed within a period of 180 days from the original due date and not from the temporary extension due date. Bankers, they say that, sir, we have extended 3 months. From there, you calculate 180 days. No. The RBI circular clearly says that 180 days you have to calculate from the end of the original due date and not from the temporary extension. This point you have to bear in mind. Here, I want to share another experience here. So I went for a stock audit. And now, whenever you are going for stock audit, the format is just like that credit audit report. Though they say that it's a stock audit, nowadays from this year onwards, they change the stock audit format and they say that you have to say about the status of the account. When I scrutinized that account, I found that 180 days end on 17/1/2020. I went for the stock audit in the month of June 2020. So I found that cash credit account has become NPA, that is 180 days ends on 17/1/2020. And that means I have classified that account as NPA on 18/1/2020. But the statutory auditor was gone on, the statutory audit was gone for the audit. He reported that account is standard. But RBI at the time they issued a circular. They say that if the account is standard as on 29/2/2020, you can give emergency credit line loan. The branch has sanctioned based on the statutory auditor's report. But in my stock audit report, I proved that account has become NPA. That account has become NPA as on 18/1/2020. I said, no, this party is not eligible to be treated as eligible to get the emergency credit loan. And this has gone to RBI and still the dispute is going on. So here, the identification of NPA date plays a very, very vital role. So as an auditor, you must be very, very careful. You should not take lenient view of 180 days. And I have received a question from Shishidri. What if branch manager has not renewed the account but renewed before 4 or 5 days or 5 days, 4 days or 5 days or 31/3. See, as on 31/3/22, if the limit is being renewed, don't worry at all. As on the date of audit, there is a life to the loan, right? How many short review can be accepted by us for want of information of renewal is not possible. Ramakrishnan sir, you can take 5 short renewal, 6, 10, 20, 50. You can do any time, any number of times short renewal. All the short renewal should form or should fall within that 180 days. Now I'm moving to step 6. Here I already said both temporary renewal and short renewal, the period of 180 days are included. Step 7, non-submission of stock statement, data statement for a continuous period of that is the 3 months. Say from November 2021, the stock statements has to be submitted. At least the November stock statement should be submitted on or before 31/3/22. Otherwise, the DP is 0. Then that account will be termed as NPA. So submission of stock statement is very, very important. Step 8 is even the stock statement should be regular from April to November. Otherwise, that account will also be treated as NPA. In this by 8 manner, you can arrive at the cash credit limit as NPA. Any doubt with up to this, you can ask me. Once again said, I'm going from the basic. I'm going from the basic because the youngsters or freshers are going for the audit. They should be fully equipped. One. Second thing, it's a revision to the seniors who are all well versed in the audit. No, sir. Thank you, Ramakrishnan, sir. Any doubt, please. I'll wait because hereafter I'm going directly for the agricultural advance. See, there are 4 things that I have to address. One is unrealized interest calculation. Second one is erosion in property value. Then NPA calculation with reference to agricultural advances. Then using Baba Mutra to identify NPA. 4th thing I have to address. Then after that, I'll go for some practical issues. Straight away, I'm going for the next area is all cash credit loans, just like packing credit loan, bill discounting, treasury bills are forming part of the cash credit loan. So from the loan due, you have to add 90 days. Then you see that those loans are being serviced. Then you have to arrive at the NPA. Here, this is a very, very important thing. NPA account has to be calculated on borrower wise and not facility wise. This point you have to take note of it. Suppose a Joe loan has become, suppose if the vehicle loan has become NPA, then all the loans of the party will become NPA. So it is a borrower wise concept and not facility wise concept. And what are the other points of NPA? Just I'll rush because I have to concentrate on other thing. Unrealized interest that I will explain later. Then after identifying one account as NPA, you know further interest has to be charged. And the date of NPA is very, very important. And if there is no pro note, then you can treat that asset as a loss asset because this cannot be enforced before court of law. And erosion in property value, that also explained in the later part of the slide, because though both the things are important. Here, the central government guarantee loans, for central government guarantee, no NPA or no IRAC norms are applicable, but for state government, IRAC norms are applicable. For consortium advances means all 4 banks or 5 banks, they sit together and they arrive at the finance to the party. But with reference to NPA, every bank's status continues. Suppose if State Bank of India says this that this account is NPA according to us, then they need not, that is Bank of Baroda need not bother. Because suppose if they are party of the consortium, they need not bother. They have to arrive at individual thing. So with reference to consortium advances, every bank's NPA is important. And with reference to sublimit, what is sublimit? A main limit is being sanctioned at say a branch at that particular bank, and this limit is being divided into 4 parts or 3 parts to various parts of India. So all the limits you have to add and do it. So that is at one shot you have to arrive at the NPA. So if you are going audit for the sublimit, don't worry at all. The NPA working has to be done by the main auditor. Okay, this is the thing. And what is another type of advance is a multiple advance. What are all called as multiple advance? A multiple advance means in consortium advances, all the customers, they have to in consortium advances, all the banks, they sit together and arrive at the limit. In multiple thing, each banker, they will not, they have to design the finance according to their own. They will not consider the other banks' loans. So this is the difference between consortium advances and multiple advances. And agriculture, that is advances against multi-bank, you mean here, sir? Yeah, multiple banks, still it is available, sir. Multiple banking means IOB, they are doing their working separately. They sanction the loan according to their own whims and fancies or according to their terms and conditions. Bank of Baroda is different. Canara Bank is different. They are doing individual working and they are giving the loans. But for a particular bank party, 3 banks are individually financing. But consortium advances means all banks, they put together, they arrive at this share. I contribute 20%, you contribute 30%. So in this manner, they are doing it. So this is, here it is still there, sir. Multiple banking concepts, it is still there, they are still working. And advanced against term deposits, NSC, KVPs, all are called as standard advances. This I will skip. I want to say that bank audit is ocean. So before going to the erosion in property value, before going to the unrealized interest calculation, then I will say about few things about the agricultural advances. Lot of people get confused because of the agricultural advances. I require only 10 minutes of you. Only 10 minutes of you can easily understand what is NPA classification with agricultural advance is being classified into 2 parts. One is direct agriculture advances and indirect agriculture advances. In direct agriculture advances, it is called as crop loan and non-crop loan. And for non-crop loan and indirect agriculture, for NPA working, you have to adopt the concept of non-agriculture advances. That is 90 days norms are applicable for non-crop loan as well as indirect agriculture advances. That is fisheries, milk churnible, tractor, everything comes under the category of indirect agricultural advances. Again, once again, I say that the classification of direct agriculture or indirect agriculture, everything has to be clearly mentioned in the sanction letter. So NPA, one second. Sarana, half an hour. Okay, no. And here you have to consider the word crop season. Agriculture loan, if you want to classify, you have to consider the word crop season. In this crop season, there are 2 types of crop season. One is short-term crop and long-term crop. What is short-term crop? If any crop is being cultivated within a period of 1 year, that comes under the category of short-term crop. If the crop cultivation crosses 1 year, then that is called as long-term crop. So short-term crop and long-term crop is any crop within 1 year, that is called as short-term crop. If it exceeds 1 year, that is called as long-term crop. What is a crop season? Crop season is nothing but crop period plus harvest period plus marketing period. This is the definition given by the NABARD. Crop season means crop period plus harvest period plus marketing period. So this is what I say about the agriculture. And now I am going to explain about the NPA calculation with reference to short-term crop. Here, I'll go slowly because if you understand this, everything is clear. 1615 to 31316. This is the crop season mentioned by the branch manager in his sanction letter. One can say, sir, how to find this crop season? It has to be clearly spelled out by the manager in his sanction letter. If it is not there, please refer NABARD now. NABARD circular, there you can find. But don't worry at all. You ask the manager to come in. Because within 2 days, 3 days, it is not possible for you to do the audit. So any crop which falls between 1615 to 31316, that is one case. And the due date as per the sanction letter is 31316. And the NPA rule says crop season plus 2 crop season. For short-term crop, from the due date and 2 crop season. So here after 31,316, what is the next crop season? It is 1616 to 31,317. Then 1617 to 31,318. So 31,316 plus 2 crop season, the due date ends on 31,318. That means the amount due on 31,316 has to be paid on or before 31,318. Otherwise, that account will become NPA on 1/4/2018. Is it clear, sir? It's very, very simple. Everything has to be clearly mentioned in the sanction letter. And due date, you have to arrive at. Due date is clearly also mentioned in the sanction letter. From the due date, add 2 crop season if it is short-term crop. Then arrive at the due date of payment. Then if it is not paid, then that account has to be treated as NPA. Ramesh sir, I'll repeat. This 1615 to 30. Let us go to the next exercise. That is 2916 to 28,317. This is the crop season as mentioned in the sanction letter. In the sanction letter, the manager says that the due date of the loan is 28,317. Okay, this is the due date. So when the next crop season starts? It starts on 2917 because it should be after the due date. After the due date. 2917 to 28,318. And 2918 to 28,319, that is the second crop season. So original 1 due date plus 2 crop season, it ends on 28,319. That means the due amount of 28,3/2017 has to be paid on or before 28,3/2019. Otherwise, that account will be termed as NPA on 29/3/2019. Is it clear, Ramesh sir? Any doubt here? Because if you understand this, agricultural NPA is nothing. It's very, very easy. I'm moving to long-term crop. Okay, if crop season is not mentioned, whether based on the crop as paddy, whether to presume the crop season, please. Here, Santana Raman, I already said, don't worry about the crop season. The crop season has to be clearly mentioned by the branch manager in his sanction letter. If it is not there, then please refer the NABARD. But my sincere request to the fellow members, it is not possible for you to arrive at the crop season for each and every loan. It has to be produced by the branch manager. You have to ask. It has to be clear. It will definitely be mentioned in the it has to be clearly mentioned in the sanction letter, Santana Raman. And now I am moving to long-term crop. Same concept, same concept. Here in long-term crop, you have to add only 1 crop season. In short-term crop, you have to add 2 crop season from the due date. And in long-term crop, you have to add only 1 crop season from the due date. So here the crop season is 24/15 to 30/6/16. The due date as per the sanction letter is 30/16, and add the 1 crop season, that is 24/17, because after 36/17, when the next crop comes, 24/17, then to 36/18, that is the due date is 36/18. If it is not paid, then on 1/7/2018, that account will be termed as NPA. Is it clear? If at all I want to repeat, I will repeat the second exercise. The crop season with reference to long term, it exceeded 1 year, 3/8/16 to 8/12/17. The due date is 8/12/17. Add 1 crop season, so the due date falls on 8/12/19. The due amount of 8/12/17 has to be paid on or before 8/12/19. Otherwise, that account will be termed as NPA on 9/12/19. Is it clear, sir? And if you got any doubt, you can ask me, because this is what I want to say about the agriculture advances, whether it is a KCC loan or any type of agriculture advances, which is termed as direct. This is the rule you have to follow. For short-term crop, you have to add 2 crop season. For long-term crop, you have to add only 1 crop season. This point you have to bear in mind. And where the crop season is being noticed, it is being noticed in the sanction letter. And due date is also being mentioned in the sanction letter. Can I move to the next thing, sir? Because this is what I want to say about the agricultural advances NPA. So we have discussed about the term loan NPA and CC loan NPA, agricultural advances NPA. Any doubts, sir? Please ask. Because when you complete this session, you should be a master, at least in 90%, you should be a master in NPA. Sir, it means NPA is based not as per the date of sanction, but on the crop season. Yes, sir. I think this question is being raised by Venkatramana. It means NPA is based on not as per the date of sanction. If the due date plus crop season, you have to do it. And now another important term that you have to see from the working of NPA. Whenever you identify that account as NPA, no further interest has to be charged. And as per the 2015 circular, it is stated that the unrealized portion of the previous financial year you have to consider. Unrealized interest you have to remove from the profit. So this year and last year you have to remove it. Here, as per the latest circular, master circular issued by the banker on 1/10/2021, it is clearly mentioned that you have to calculate the unrealized interest, all the incomes, commissions that has been charged to the account from the past period. This is the latest amendment. They say that from the past period. What is past period? That means from the date of sanction to now. Normally, we have to presume that the previous auditor has done all the working correctly. So in this manner, we have to do it. Here, this is the latest thing that you have to see. You have to see the word past period. It is first time, for the first time NPA, this is applicable, and you have to remove the unrealized interest, commission, and the expenses of the past period. This is past period is the term added in the 1/10/2021 circular, and you have to add only the genuine amount of credit amount of paid. Here, there are 3 methods of analyzing the first method. Unrealized interest means unrealized. Yes, sir, Venkatramana sir. Any doubt? Venkatramana sir, you put sir. Yes, sir. Tell me. Here, there are 3 methods, sir. Why do we go to the next year for the next crop season? Sir, the crop can be grown only in the next year and not in the same year. So that is why we are going to the next year. So it is an agricultural activity. You can see, you can cultivate you can just put the seeds now, but the time it will go to the next year only. One cannot produce the agricultural produce immediately. Every agricultural produce has got its own lifetime. So the example here I have given is only the point I have given here is only an example. The cultivation period varies according to the product or not. There is a spelling mistake in heading, sir. This one, where Venkatramana, first method, both years have unrealized interest. 30 plus. Okay. Leave out the heading. Leave out the heading. See whether Ramana, whether it is in here or something. Okay. There are 3 methods of 3 methods of unrealized interest. One is add interest. See, there are 2 years. I am just considering 2 years. But the rule says past period. That means from date of sanction, you have to do the same exercise. From date of sanction, you have to do the same exercise. It is not possible. But you can understand the principle. If it is possible, you can do it with the assumption that the previous auditor has done the audit correctly. We have to take that year audit as base and you have to do the working. Here, add all the interest for the period from 1/4/2020 to 31/3/21. Add only interest. Interest includes penal interest. add one to interest. Now they say that all income, all charges, for each and everything, you have to do it separately. Here, I'm saying only about the unrealized interest. Add interest for the period from April to March. It works out to 48,000. And add only the genuine credit. You go to the amount paid into the account by the party from 1/4/20 to 31/3/21. You have to add everything. Compare this with the amount due towards interest. And if the amount paid exceeds the interest, then everything is correct. And in case if there is any shortfall, this is called as unrealized interest for the year 2021. So interest is 48,000, amount paid is only 32,000. The shortfall is called as unrealized interest, that is 16,000 with the reference to 2021. Yeah, it should be less. It should be less. And 2021. So there are 2 years. Now we are going audit for the year ending 21-22. This year you have identified this account as NPA. So here 52,300 is the interest. Amount paid by the party is 40,000. Then there is a shortfall of 9,300. The unrealized interest is you have to add 2021, 21-22. It works out to 25,300. This 25,300 you have to deduct from the interest credited to the profit and loss account of the bank. This is the first method. If you understand this, 2 and 3 is nothing. You just take 1 minute time so that you can easily understand this. From the amount credited, is it necessary to consider charges booked in the account? Yeah, Vinchu, they say that all the charges you have to collect. All the charges you have to collect. All the commission you have to collect. That is what the latest 110/2000 surplus says. Is it clear, sir, with reference to first method? And second method, is it clear? Can I move to the second method, sir? Only 3 members, they are giving the reply. They are following it. Out of 176 now. Okay. Second method is here 2021 there is an unrealized interest. 21-22 there is a surplus. So 2021 the deficit is 16,000. In 21-22 there's a surplus of 17,700. That means present year has got a surplus of 17,700. This you can adjust against the shortfall of 2021. That is 16,000 shortfall. You can adjust against 17,700. That means there is no unrealized interest because all the unrealized interest of 2021 is being recovered, is being adjusted out of the surplus of 17,700. So there is no unrealized interest. That means the surplus of 2021 you can adjust against the deficit of against the shortfall of 16,000. That is 2021. So this is the second method. Now going to the third method. In the third method, there's a surplus of 22,000 rupees in the year 2021. In 21-22, there's a deficit of 22,300. That is unrealized interest. The rule is the surplus of 2021, you are not supposed to adjust against the deficit of 21-22. Because this 22,000 can be adjusted against the principal. So this surplus should not be adjusted against 21-22. The rule is in both years you can get unrealized interest. The surplus of 21-22 you can adjust against the deficit of 2021 and not vice versa. This is in this basis you can calculate the unrealized interest for this, and this is a forming part of the MOC. This calculation of unrealized interest is also forming part of the MOC. Memorandum of changes, they will ask what is the unrealized interest. So you should know how to calculate the unrealized interest. Are you clear with these 3 methods? One is, and both years you have got deficit. And second year, the first year has got deficit. Second year we have got surplus. The first year deficit you can adjust against second year surplus and not ulta, not vice versa. Is it clear, sir? Because this is a very, very important item that you have to mention in the MOC, Memorandum of Changes. You have to remove the unrealized interest from the interest, because this is not the actual income. Now I am moving to the next thing, erosion in property value. What is erosion in property value? A loan is being sanctioned based on the property collateral security given or primary security given. Here we will take the collateral security or primary security. At the time of sanction, the property value is say 40 lakhs. Suddenly, due to some unwanted things, the property value has come down due to the reduction in value of the place of the security. Or suppose if the government acquires the land, the property value will be less. Suddenly the property value will go. See, in one of my cases, I have helped my client to get 80 lakhs. At the time he has got the 80 lakhs, it's a poultry loan. At the time they avail the 80 lakhs, the property value is being mentioned by the valuer to the tune of 1.40 crores. Then after 2 years, the railway authorities, they acquired the land. When they acquire the land, the railway tracks goes in middle of the poultry shed. That means it demolishes the poultry shed. And the land is being divided into two parts. One is on the roadside, one is on the backside. To go to the backside, you have to travel some 4 kilometers to come to the backside. So the backside property has got no value, has got less value. And front side got only less value because of the reduction in the extent of the land. And the manager and the valuer at the time of valuing, once again, they valued around, say at the time he has valued around 1.40 crores. So after railway authorities acquisition, the property value is around 10 lakhs only. That is, it is less than 10%. So that means there is no property value. Here, I'll explain the same thing with an example here. At the time of sanction, the property value is 40 lakhs. Present value, due to some other reason, if it is 18 lakhs, that means if it falls between 10% to 50%, that means it is called as, if this property you can directly take to D3, doubtful 3. So in this situation only, the gradual change of status is being overlooked. If the erosion in property value falls between 10 to 50%, you can directly take that asset as D3 and accordingly you have to make provision. In case if the value falls below 10%, then you can treat that advance as loss asset. So this is with reference to erosion in property value. Are you clear with this? This also plays a very vital role in MOC. So here I want to say one thing. A property valuation has to be done once in 3 years. And whether it is a regular account or NPA account, that means even for the NPA account also, you have to do the property valuation once in 3 years. So is this clear, sir? Erosion in property value. Is it clear, sir? Chandrakala said yes. Sambaswara Rao. Yes, sir. Thank you. 4. Will provision be there in both cases? Yes, sir. 100% provision you have to make, Kamal, because you are classifying the asset as D3 and loss means you have to write it off. That means if you are making provision, that means you can have provision for the next year. Revaluation has to be done irrespective of the loan, irrespective of the value of the, yes sir, Venkatramana sir, the property valuation has to be done by the another engineer and not by the same engineer once in 3 years. That means the valuation report is valid for a period of 3 years. That is a practical thing that you have to remember while doing the audit. And this is in this manner you have to make the provision. That is standard. This is clearly there in the circular. And standard assets, substandard assets, doubtful assets, loss assets, what is the provision that you have to make. Next thing is the additional information I will skip. And this is one of the NPA technique that you have to follow. So in this is a highlight of the today's presentation, that is NPA technique. What is NPA technique? This is called as Baba Mudra. Even a layman without applying his mind, he can easily identify one account as NPA. Though we have to apply our mind to identify NPA, that is a different issue, but it's a shortcut method. Or even a layman without knowing what is NPA, they can identify. This is called as Baba Mudra. Left hand. So kindly see, just 2 minutes you can easily observe things. Before going to use the Baba Mudra, you have to call for the loan trial balance. Take note of it. You have to call for the loan trial balance. A loan trial balance indicates the loan sanction from the date of opening the branch till now. From the date of opening the branch till now, it will produce. Then at the time of taking the printout, you can ask the manager, sir, kindly ignore the Joe loan and you take other loans printout. It may run into some 400 pages. They say that it comes to 400 pages. Don't worry, you ask the manager to take it. Don't do this in the system. Because your eyes will be tired and it is not possible. Okay, let them bank, they produce the loan trial balance. Here, left hand says, this one, date of loan, due date of the loan. Date of loan, due date of the loan, you just put your fingers there at the loan trial balance. Just pull it. Date of loan and due date of the loan. And you are going audit for the year 2022. If the due date of the loan is 2007, you see whether there is any outstanding to the loan or not. If it is not there, then you put it. In case if there is any outstanding for the loan which has exceeded the due date, then that account has to be directly classified as NPA. That is, though 90 days norms are applicable, that is for the close end. But in many cases, in particularly the agricultural based branches, even according to my experience, I went for the year audit of 2019. But the branch, they say that 1999 advances are still standard. How is it possible? It is not possible. So the first technique is due date of sanction and due date of sanction. Just pull it. You can come to the conclusion. And for this, if there is any outstanding corresponding to that, and then if the outstanding exceeds the due date, then that account has to be treated as NPA. This is one method. This is one method of identifying the NPA based on the due date. And come to the right hand mudra. Right hand mudra. This is amount sanctioned, outstanding balance. You can just pull it. Amount sanctioned, outstanding balance. And if the outstanding balance exceeds the sanction amount, automatically that account has to be treated as NPA. You see whether it is within 1 year. If it is 1 year, you have to do the, you have to apply your mind, you can do it. And if it is more than 1 year, then take data, that is amount sanctioned, outstanding amount, just pull it, you can arrive at the figure. Suppose if the outstanding balance exceeds the loan sanction, automatically that account will be termed as NPA. This is a very, very shortcut method. It is one of the techniques, that way you can identify the NPA. By the manual mode also you can do it. Ask for the loan trial balance and apply Baba Mudra technique. And the left hand date of sanction and due date of sanction. And right hand loan amount sanction, amount outstanding. Is there any special treatment for agricultural loan? Jennifer, agriculture, whether it is agricultural loan, apply agricultural NPA norms. And non-agriculture, apply the non-agricultural norms. That's all. to understand this Baba Mutra technique. Thus, indirectly, you can identify these things. Any doubt in this Baba Mutra, you can ask. This is a shortcut method which I introduced to identify the NPA. And sometimes the bankers, they change the due date of the loan from this year to next year. The system, what the system? No, sir, it's clear. Yeah, Narendra, you said no, that means I was afraid. Okay, it is clear. Thank you. And few techniques adopted by the bankers, techniques adopted by the bankers to avoid NPA is, one is they change the due date from this year to next year. The system says, no, it is, this account is not NPA. So you have to do the arrival of due date manually. Whether the due date is being mentioned by the system or not, that also you have to do it. This is one. And sanctioning of one loan to close the next loan, that is also there. So there are various methods based on which they can do the NPA manipulation. But thing is, you have to be very, very careful. Even you ask for the last year NPA statement and ask for the this year's NPA statement produced by the bankers, you compare it. Last year NPA means, last year substandard means this year that account should be D1. But the managers, what they do, substandard remains substandard for this year. That means without changing the status also, they produce a statement to you. So don't sign it blindly. If that is the, suppose last year substandard, this year should be D1. Next year it should be D2. But sometimes this substandard has been removed from the chart. Even without recovery also, they remove this from the chart. This is also possible. So everything, if you disagree with the classification, you have to report it in MOC. I think this is what I want to say about the with reference to NPA. And I hope if you have any doubt in NPA, you can ask now. Next thing, I can take some chapters of practical approach to bank audit. Can I move to the next portion, sir? Yeah, this is practical issues and problems in statutory branch audit 2022. Because for one time, I'll touch some important items. Then again, once again, say that the bank audit is ocean. The bank audit is ocean. Don't do the audit. Don't take the audit very lightly. Be sincere to the audit, and you can do wonders. If you fail to do your duty, then you are also responsible for the loss to the bank. What are the general problems that you are facing during the audit? Non-availability of the latest circular. You will not be getting the latest circular. From where you will get? So here I want to give one suggestion. At least not, you leave alone the statutory audit. You want to update the bank knowledge. You please go to the RBI site. You just type RBI circulars on banks. You will go to that page and you just read all the circulars. Thereby you can update the banking knowledge. So please refer the RBI circulars. Thereby you can update the banking knowledge. And Venkatramana sir, while asking about the NPS, branch manager is telling that all NPS classification will be done at their head office. What we have to do in our report, Venkatramana sir, if the branch manager is saying there is no point in doing the audit. You ignore whatever managers tells the story. All the stories, please ignore. You have to do the audit. You have to do the audit as per the IRAC norms issued by the RBI. Whether it is being done by the head office branch or outside branch, that is immaterial. Yes, the NPA classification report is being circulated to you. You verify the NPA classification is done by the branch is correctly or not. And you have to verify all advances, whether all the advances which are all eligible to be included in the NPA, whether all those advances have been included in the NPA statement or not, that you have to see. ICA guideline, yeah, that is to be listed. ICA guideline note as well as RBI circulars are to be listed. Yeah, Muralidhara sir, you are correct. Please refer our Insurance guideline book, bank audit guideline book. It's fantastic. Each and every point you will be getting the clarification in that book. But apart from that, it requires some practical experience also. But here, non-availability of the latest circular is the first problem. And second thing is, whenever you ask for the details, the manager says that, sir, the form has not come. It is still to be come from the head office. That if they say that, then there will be a delay in getting the forms. So if there is delay in getting the form, then while verifying the form, you have to be in rush. When you are in rush, you are not giving the truth figure. So delay in submission of audit report details and forms will be the another problem that you are going to face during the audit. And sometimes the bankers, they are not cooperating with you to do the audit. And sometimes when you identify one account as NPA, you will get a lot of pressures from the regional office and loan officers. Don't put the NPA. If you put the NPA, then our region profit will go. Even I will not be getting the promotion, and the head office will issue me memo, this and that. Lot of stories don't tell. Don't yield to any pressure given by any officials, because you have to save your certificate. Regional office and zonal office, they pressurize you to avoid NPA. And as per the latest norms of RBI, if the NPA is not classified by the auditor or wrongly classified by the auditor, then the auditor is responsible for the non-classification or wrong classification of NPA. Please do not yield to any pressure given by any officials. And you must go do the audit by understanding the principles. And you will be given very short time to do the audit. You will be given very short time to do the audit. And you have to plan your time. That is also another problem while you are carrying out the audit. Even sometimes your staff is also not equipped with the knowledge. So you have to take all your staff for the training, bank audit training, just like this. You have to depute your staff to verify, to attend the class so that their knowledge will be improved. And sometimes whenever you ask for any records, they say that, no, this record is with the branch manager. The last manager has taken the records are not available. If these type of tactics are being adopted, then everything which you have asked, if the manager is not ready to give the information, then those information you have to clearly mention in your report. That is non-production of records. And there's a bank frauds. If bank frauds are there, then you will be in danger. So once again, I'll repeat, if you are not able to identify the fraud, or if any fraud is there and if it is not detected by you, then the auditor is held personally responsible for the loss to the bank, apart from facing all other insured action, court action and everything. So bank frauds also create a lot of problem to us during the bank audit. And it is clearly stated in LFAR, there is a new LFAR, in new LFAR, please go through the bank frauds column. I think it is stated in point number 5 of LFAR. I don't remember the exact para, but in LFAR, they classified the bank frauds into 4 points. And you have to reply, you have to give reply to the bank frauds. And if you say that no fraud, and if any fraud has taken place in future, then you are held responsible. So bank frauds is also another area wherein you are getting some problems. Next area is, now I am going with the area-wise attention, that is with reference to the classification, One is cash. What are the important thing is, you have to see about the cash verification time. Whenever, this is also another practical problem or practical issues or practical way in which you have to do the audit. Whenever you enter the branch, you have to see the timing of entering into the branch. Suppose if you are entering into the branch before opening the branch, then you can do the opening cash, and even you can verify the closing cash. Sometimes you are reaching the branch by 11:30 or 12. By 11:30 or 12. then still you want to verify the cash, and manager will say that no, we won't allow you to verify the branch, verify the cash as you have already been, we have already started the transaction. Even that also you can explain the method to him. I'll tell few members they know the technique. I'll tell the technique once again to the fellow members. There is one method called cover method. That means you can instruct the branch manager to go to the cashier cabin, and you ask the manager to pull at random, say 2,000 rupees notes, 500, 120 in all denominations, and put everything into a cover like this. It's a very big cover will be there, cloth cover. You ask them to put everything inside the cover and ask them to paste it, and you ask the manager to sign, and you also sign on the cover, and you hand over the cover to the cashier. You have to hand over the cover to the cashier. In the evening, when the cashier closes the cash, there will be deficit in cash. That deficit cash should tally with the cash that is being kept inside the cover. If it is tallied, then you can assume that the entire day transaction is correct. Otherwise, if there is any difference, then you have to give time to the cashier to arrive at the correct figure. Sometimes due to tension, there will be the cashier, he will not be in a position to tally the cash correctly. So we have to give time. In spite of that, if there is any difference, then you have to report that point in your report. This is the time of verification, and you will not get very good cooperation from the cashier officer. And here another problem I want to, this is another problem created by the cashier officer. And if they are saying, if they are doing like that, then you have to say that since the cashier has not cooperated to verify the cash, I totally disagree with the cash transaction of that branch on that particular day. You can give that point clearly in your report. And you have to do, if the cashier is not cooperating, you have to get a letter from the manager saying that cashier has not cooperated. Even the cashier may be suspended, because everyone has to cooperate to you during the audit. And you can sometimes, you can see huge cash inside the cash vault. Then if huge cash is there, it is not physically possible for you to count all the cash. So there will be some 7 almiras or 8 almiras which have got the cash. So you have to do the cash verification on row column wise or cash column wise. Even cash verification is a very big class, very big session, because it requires even minimum 1 hour to explain all the methods of cash. So huge cash also creates a problem for you during the audit. And cash handling technique, how the cash is being handled, how the cash is being counted, whether the cash is being counted by the cash machine or not, whether it is being counted physically, or we can say whether the cash is being counted on the folding method or cover method, clip method and everything. So this is another type of cash handling technique that you should know. And whenever you enter into the cash cabin, you can have to verify the cash stock register. The cash stock register has to be updated. The cash stock register says what is the cash balance that is being kept inside the vault. The verification of cash register is very, very important. In those cash register, both the cashier and officer who are in charge of the cash, they have to sign the register. If any signature is missing, then on that day, that cashier or officer, they have not verified the cash book. So if that is there, you have to report that point in your report. And soil notes also create a problem. They say that, sir, we will not touch the soil note because it is a soil note. We will not be in a position to count it. If soil notes are there, the rule is once in 6 months, the branch has to remit this soil note to the chest branch. If it is not remitted, why it has not been remitted, everything you have to get the information to the branch manager, and you have to give this report to the report in the LFAR. So this is the thing I want you have to concentrate about the cash verification and the key movement register. Key movement register explains the persons who are holding the keys of the branch. So every day, not every day, if we is holding the key for 6 months or 3 months, both the key holders, they have to sign the key movement register. Suppose if anyone goes on leave, the person who has taken over the keys from the branch, then they have to once again sign the cash movement, key movement register. Next important thing, is clearly stated in LFAR, is cash retention limit. You can go and ask the manager, So what is your cash retention limit? The manager says that the cash retention limit is 10 lakhs. And if you ask for the letter, manager, they are not having the letter. And if they say that, no, we are not having copy, then you have to ask the manager, sir, please put it in writing that you are not holding the cash retention letter. And because I want to give this point in my LFAR, because there is a specific class whether the branch has got the cash within the retention limit or not. So you have to verify the cash retention limit. Next one is insurance certificate. Whenever you ask for the cash insurance certificate, the manager says that all the insurance is being done at the all insurance is being done at the head office level. So we are not having copy. If they say that we are not having copy, then you have to ask for a letter from the manager. Then the same thing you have to cover in your report. Next one is cash holding certificate. So that's a cash retention limit. After that, the regional office may permit you to carry some excess cash of say 10 lakhs to 20 lakhs. If that is there, the regional manager has to give you a letter. That letter is called as cash retention holding certificate. If the cash balance exceeds the retention limit, there is no insurance coverage available to the branch. So that point you have to mention. And next register that you have to verify is cash excess short register. You have to ask for the cash excess short register. In the cash excess short register, you have to go through it. And if there is any cash or if there is any short, both the things have to be reported to the controlling authority. You have to ask whether those points have been reported to the controlling authorities or not. That point you have to verify. And the cash payment exceeds 10 lakhs. If the cash receipts, it is cash payments into the account exceeds 10 lakhs. In the SBI savings account, this has to be reported to the controlling authorities, and the controlling authorities, they will inform this to the income tax department. Whether the system of reporting is correctly done or not, that point you have to verify. Another big headache for this year is cash withdrawal limit of 20 lakhs and 100 lakhs above. For that, the branch, they have to deduct TDS. So that means if the cash is being withdrawn more than 20 lakhs, and if they even in spite of that, the branch has not deducted TDS, then the branch has to get a branch should have got the income tax assessment, income tax acknowledgement copy for their reference. So as an auditor, you have to verify that point. This is the latest thing that you have to verify. You have to do the audit after verification of this. Otherwise, if it is not there, then you can say that it is against the income tax provision. You have to cover that point in your report. And now JOL verification. What are the main things that you have to do the JOL verification? Here, JOL verification is very much important. Normally, you start the audit with cash verification. Next thing, you are going to the JOLs. And here, normally what we are doing, you have to take the total quantity as on the date of audit, as on the date of your visit. What is the total quantity of JOLs, and go to the JOL vault and take the JOL stock register. Compare the JOL stock register with the JOL quantity that is stated in the accounts. Compare it. If it tallied, okay. If it is not tallied, then you have to analyze the reason. This is step one. And you go to the JOL loan vault. If you see, in each and every tray, there is one notebook or one bin card system is there. So whenever any JOL packets have been kept inside, they make the entry. Whenever they withdraw the JOL packets, they make the entry. And what is the balance left? The balance left, the physical stock of that tray should tally with the balance in that tray. If it is tallied, okay. If it is not tallied, you have to analyze the reason why it is not tallied. And sometimes when you totally count the entire JOL packets, instead of 1,230 packets, there may be 1,242 packets. That is, excess packet will be there. If the packets are in shortage, then it is a very big headache. If the packets are in excess, then what are the packets that have not been released? One is the party has paid the amount due to some family dispute, sometimes due to some death of the borrower, sometimes due to the non-availability of the borrower, these JOLs would not have been released. If it is not released, then you, as an auditor, you have to see the reasons, and the same thing you have to cover in your report. And when you enter the JOL vault, you can see that the JOL ornaments have been kept in the cloth bag. It is not, it has to be kept in transparent packet. If it is not being kept in the transparent packet, if it has been kept in the cloth bag, normally what we are doing in statutory audit, we are counting only the packets. What we are doing, the verification, we are doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we are doing very fast. But that should not be the way in which you have to do the calculation. Should not be the way to count the packets. The slogan of gel loan packet verification is you have to touch the packet. You have to touch the packet. Then feel the packet, whether something is inside or not. Then count the packet. Touch, sense. Third one is feel, whether it is a jewelry or not. Then count. Touch, sense, feel. Yeah, it is jewelry. 1, 2, 3. Don't do it fast. The slogan for gel loan verification is touch, sense, feel, and count. Another thing that you have to see is appraiser appointment letter and its commission chargeable. So you have to see the appraiser appointment letter. In most of the banks, I have noticed that the appraiser appointment is being given to the father, but son is taking care of the gel loan appraisal part. Due to age, this appraiser, he will come only in the evening. Even sometimes he will not come. Only his son is taking the appraisal. So whether the appraiser is the person who is doing the work, is the same person who has been given the appointment letter. That point you have to see one. And normally these appraisers, they are retaining the jewels till the evening and they are handing over the jewels only in the evening to the officer. But the bankers, they have already released the funds. So whenever the appraisers have got no right, the appraiser, once again repeat, the appraisers have got no right to retain the jewel packets. Because they have got the thing only to appraise the jewels, then these jewels should be kept under the custody of the officer. This is a very, very bad thing that each and every branch, not each and every bank, they are doing this. So this point you have to, if you observe this, you have to do this in the report, and you have to see whether the loan is an agricultural loan or non-agricultural loan, and what is the per borrower concept, that also you have to see, and you have to verify the jewel loan closed paper also, because sometimes the borrower is different and the jewel recipient is different. If the jewel recipient is different, you have to see the evidence that why the jewel recipient is evident, whether the borrower has died, whether the borrower died, and whether the recipient has produced death certificate and legal hardship certificate, and what is the evidence that he is the legal hardship. So every details you have to see. So you have to verify the jewel loan closed papers. Stamping of the scale, you have to verify the stamping of the scale. So here actually time is 8. I'm stopping the presentation. If you go through the LFAR, you'll get securities. Yeah, you can verify the securities physically, and for this, as the security register, you have to go through it and see all the securities are kept under the lock and key, and who are all the joint holders, they have to be clearly mentioned in the key movement register. This is with reference to securities verification, with reference to the deposits made in other banks. So if the deposits are made in other banks, the regional branch has got no power to make the deposit in other banks. They have to get the permission from the regional office or controlling authority to make the deposit other banks, and confirmation from that is sometimes they opened the account in other banks. You have to get the confirmation balance and you have to do the reconciliation in bank audit. Please do not do the reconciliation of balance on your own. Please ask the manager to do the reconciliation. It is not your duty to do the reconciliation of balance confirmation. Suppose sometimes you are asked to make the deposit with the other banks. Yes, if it is permitted, for this, the higher authorities, they have to give the permission, and you have to see the deposit asset. They say that, sir, we made a deposit at Karur Vaishya Bank. Yes, it is allowed, provided your head office has authorized. But you have to physically see whether the branch has got the deposit asset or not. It is one of the method of doing the fraud. So you have to see the physical receipt of the deposits. And any housing loan, plan approval is the base. And you have to go through the legal opinion and valuation. Here I'm stopping the presentation because today is 15th of March, we have to attend that is tax audit cases. Still, we are hardly left with 4 hours. And I'm stopping the presentation here. And if chairman permits, and if possible, I will come on some other day.
Sure, sir. Sure. It's
Because,
a pleasure.
Because already my client they've already come here because they are in tension. It's the last returns. We have to file it today. Otherwise,
Sir, kindly post the PPTs in the chat box, sir. Members are
that I will inform you, ma'am, later. And
Okay.
I've already sent the material to you regarding NPA.
Okay, that is the only.
You can circulate all these highlights. I've already covered in that point.
Okay.
And thank you, friends. And if you got any doubt, you can ask. Even right now, also I'll be here for another 5 minutes. If you got any doubt, you can put it in the chat box. And otherwise, now I'm handing the session to the chairperson.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Actually, your PPT is a sort of ready reckoner. The first phase will be the ICA guidance note. And if we think that it is voluminous in a very short time, I think this PPT will definitely serve as a ready reckoner. And one more thing, the PPT slide of this agricultural NPA determination will definitely a one-shot screenshot, which will be helpful in determining the agricultural NPA, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
I'll share that to you, sir. I'll share that to you.
And also, I may inform our yes, sir. I may inform our participants that this video will be available on YouTube to play any number of times in the future. And also, if you have any doubt while conducting the audit, also you can definitely watch this video on the Vijayawada branch YouTube channel at the convenience of your mobile also. So once again, thank you very much, sir. We don't want to be in between you and your client, so we will let off you by
only
this
me,
time.
sir. Not only Ravi, sir. Not only me.
Yes.
Participants.
Yes. Participants also. I should not be in between the participants.
All are charter opponents.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Friends, we will log in tomorrow at 5 p.m. sharp for para-wise discussion on LFAR. Thank you for joining this day. See you tomorrow.